Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. Welcome to tradertv.live. North American stock futures back in positive territory once again this morning, led once again by tech stocks, and the NASDAQ up better part of 2% so far this morning, looking to add to an impressive rally that we saw yesterday. All-time highs for the Dow yesterday, closing above 32,000 for the first time ever. It was up about 440 points, thanks in part to a 6% run-up in Boeing shares. The S&P and the NASDAQ, meanwhile, adding about 0.5% each on the data. Initial jobless claims data to go over this morning. We'll have a look at that coming up here. GME, wow, what a wild ride that had yesterday. We'll talk about GameStop again this morning. We are down from where we ended yesterday, but only slightly. $175 move during the afternoon yesterday for GameStop. Just crazy. Roblox, obviously, very, very successful debut on the New York Stock Exchange, trading higher in the pre-market this morning. And we'll have a look at some tech stocks and EV makers, all higher on the morning as well. It is Thursday, March 11th, 2021. TraderTV.live starts now. And there we go. Look at North American markets. You can see nicely higher so far this morning. As I said, yeah, NASDAQ better part of 2% to the upside so far. The Dow 0.3%. You can see S&P futures 0.7% to the upside. The TSX here in Toronto 0.4%. Brazil's open trading higher. Bitcoin, yes, slightly lower this morning, coming off the highs we saw yesterday. 1.2% for crude oil already. And gold back in positive territory this morning as well. Good morning, guys. Going to be an interesting day once again. Lots of things to talk about this morning as far as that IPO yesterday. Very successful. We're talking about Roblox, obviously. Coupang coming today. Coupang. CPNG going to be on topic. Talked about, obviously. We'll hopefully get to that one sometime during the show. And obviously, all things cannabis. Number of stories in the cannabis space as well.
Yeah, welcome. It's Thursday. It should be a fun show. We get some live trading in. To say that there was movement on GameStop yesterday, talk about stealing the show from Roblox debut, which successful for the stock. Took way too long to open, but that was 20 minutes of absolute chaos from almost 350 to 170. 3 halts. And $170, $180 worth of a move. It was an absolute sight to see. I don't think I've seen anything quite like it, except the last time that GameStop did a move like that. So once again, going to be in play. And you got AMC, which actually has earnings, so that should be another interesting one. You've got a great show lined up for you here, guys, today, because you have the earnings plays, you've got your so-called meme stocks, you've got some traditional names like Boeing on the move today. So there's a little bit of everything, and of course, with that IPO, should be a spicy one, guys. So buckle up. We're going to have a lot of fun trading these markets, Sean.
Yeah, we'll see if that IPO does open up on time or not. Also excited, we have a guest here live with us today, Rahim Alani, coming through from OCI Groups. We're really happy to have him come through, talk a little small caps. We'll see what he's discussing here, give us some plays for today. Yeah, we're excited. Look, stimulus checks, just keep them coming, baby, because, well, not here in Canada, we don't get anything, but let's throw that money into the market and see if we can't make it double up that 1,400 check going out right now. We'll see if we can find some winners, but yeah, should be an exciting day. It's Thursday and lots to talk about, Mr. Wickens.
Be interesting. Rahim stopping by to talk a little bit about the tech sector. We've had a number of interesting stories in the tech sector coming up here in 5 minutes or so. Before we get too far ahead of ourselves, though, let's get over to the desk and say good morning to Valeria.
Morning, guys. I wish you a great trading day. Please enjoy the show and make sure to hit thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Let's get it started, Brandon.
Let's indeed get it started. Let's have a look at how traders here at Day Trade the World fared yesterday. Big numbers, obviously, that move in GME. Yeah, wow, 412,000, number one on the top 10 list. 107 there, number two, coming out of the NASDAQ. You can see 82,000, number three, a bunch of U.S. markets. So, I mean, just tremendous opportunities, to say the least, yesterday. Whether you were looking at the IPO, whether you were looking at GameStop, all over the place. I mean, we were looking at costs during that fall on GME shares. It was halting all the way down. AMC got hit all the way down as well. And then nice recoveries throughout the rest of the afternoon. I mean, let's start, guys, with GameStop here. I mean, that was something you don't see very often in the markets, and just an impressive move to the downside, to say the least.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the interesting thing about that move is we actually had seen that before. And if you remember, when certain decisions got made, halting certain directions of trades and certain accounts got liquidated, there was a successive halts down into that 100 level, and that was a few weeks ago. And you had basically the same thing. The only difference here was this was running into some highs, into that 350 top, and there were certainly opportunities to be had here if you had the steel to go short up at the top. And then once it started going into that halt phase off the bottom, it was very similar to what we look for, post-halt on these upward movers, where you get these crazy little high flyers that'll come in, they'll have a few halts to the upside, and then once there's a down halt, they turn into a semblance of a short that makes sense. Same thing sort of happened here. When it finally opened back up, I mean, it didn't even matter whether you got the absolute bottom on the first reopen higher, or whether you got it at the worst price possible at 203. It didn't matter for the rest of the day because you couldn't have lost on that trade. So these are the types of patterns we'll look for from time to time. There's no guarantees that you'll see that type of volatility today. Quite frankly, I would suggest that it's a little bit unlikely, but the last time it did this, there was weakness in GameStop the next day. It had trouble getting back above those afternoon highs, which today looks like that 285. So the only thing that might change this is, as Sean mentioned, you have the stimulus checks coming through, so some of that money starting to find its way likely into the markets. That was different from the last time GameStop made a move down like this. Of course, those are different circumstances, but the pattern was the day after it did fall.
First of all, I see Raheem over there, and this guy, I don't know where he gets a haircut from, but he's looking pretty damn sharp if you ask me. Okay, I just want to talk about this quickly here, Roblox. So I'm going to switch GameStop, what an amazing run yesterday. I mean, unbelievable. Congratulations to anybody that had that. Okay, so my charts aren't going back that far. I see Roblox went up to $90 or something earlier on. I guess we didn't have our... Is that true? So here, I can't really show you guys, but here on eSignal, I have Roblox this morning, if you guys can see this, hitting at, whoops.
What time?
Cancel. My charts are all messed up today, as you guys can see, it's a black screen, but Roblox got to $90 today at about 4:30. According to eSignal, so we'll see if it can get going there. I guess our servers maybe weren't awake at that time. We have a gap here, but yeah, I don't know. So we're gonna watch and see what Roblox does today. Up 11%. What a great IPO. Comes out at 64.50, which isn't too far off the 45. We've seen stocks go up double, triple. Their reference prices. This, of course, was a direct listing. It dipped down to about $60, scared a lot of us out, and then it ripped upside and then just basically consolidated 73, 74. And then all afternoon I was sitting here and it just didn't want to break 70. So surprised to see it up to 78 today. And we'll check on those aftermarket prints or those pre-market prints up to 92 or so on Roblox. So that seems a little exciting. Bumble also, Brendan, with their first little move, their first report there, and we'll see what Bumble has in store today as well.
Yeah, I was, Sean, you're reading my mind. I was just going to show you that, actually. Up, better part of 9% here pre-market after a revenue beat. So a pretty impressive report if you have a look at it for Bumble. Their first as a public company. I'll show you this. Yeah, now 10.8% here for Bumble. You can see aftermarket yesterday, big move to the upside. Back to $70, guys. Big level on the daily chart for BMBL.
Yes, sir. And look, this is actually a name, and we always like to reference those pre-market prices, those opening day prices on Bumble. My charts actually, when I tried to go back to 430, Sean, my chart literally crashed. That's how much it liked the notion of me trying to see that historical data. Of course, we don't actually have that time. The thing about Bumble, and it wasn't, look, your first report, so you're not going to have expectations necessarily when it comes to earnings, but looking pretty good on the revenue side. They are growing users. And the other thing that I would say to this, of course, is if you think about the space and you think about reopening and people getting up and about in the next couple of years, that could be a positive win for them. And I think certainly it was a weak-ish looking name since that first couple of days. But you look for those bottoms that got made, and now we're retesting. And again, I just go back to the opening low at like 69. So you got like this 69.70 area. Whatever, 69.70 area, which we're at the top right here. So I like that 69 for some possible support today. If there's a possible breakout through 70, we've seen that kind of a chart setup before. And then when these recent IPOs get going, it's just in recent experience when we're talking about our DoorDashes and our C3 AIs and Lemonade, some of these other ones. There isn't always a ton of liquidity, especially on that offer. So when you get these breakouts, one, you're having to pay up to get them because of the spread, and then sort of two, there might not be a lot in the way of resistance, so it goes a little bit further than you're expecting. So it could be a wild one today. It's done very little in pre-market volume. That's the cautionary tale. So post-earnings, only 100,000. But I line up that 69 support from the first day of the IPO, and if that can hold today, it could be off to the races.
Yeah, I just actually got into Roblox really, really small here, just at the top, just taking out this 78.25. So we're long. I don't know if it shows it. Yeah, there it is. Shows it 78.26 now. Roblox. I'm going to see what happens back down to 75. This is not a big position. We don't take big positions in the pre-market, very often, anyways. So we'll see if that one can hold. Once I saw that 92, and I think you guys can confirm it. Some people on the chat have as well, even though our charts, like you just mentioned there, Neil, not going back that far. We'll see if Roblox goes. Maybe Kathy Wood, maybe some ARK investing happened there on Roblox. Some people saying so. I'm gonna dig a little deeper. I had no idea that this was happening there, but Bumble should be good, man. BMBL. We talked about that. You just ran over some levels. IPOs. I see the CEO right now on some other station that I have no idea what it is. CN something, BC something. They're on right now. So we'll see if that's going to get a bump anytime soon. Often you get the CEO bump. So that's why I bring that up. It's 11% today for Bumble. Let's see if we can retest back to yesterday's close. 65.50, but right now we're into Roblox long. And let's see if we get a little sniff of a higher price here for Roblox. My kid's probably on it right now.
All right, guys, let's get into some tech topics this morning. Rahim Alani joining me in studio. It's nice to have someone in studio for a change. I think everyone's getting a little sick of Zoom after a year of this nonsense that we've been dealing with. Managing Director at OCI Groups here in Toronto, going to talk about some small cap opportunities here in Canada. But in general, we've seen some interesting stories over the past week or so in the tech world. To start things off, some on the security side of things. I mean, everybody seems to be talking about this NFT technology as well.
Yeah, no, the tech sector has been on fire. You guys are speaking about it this morning. Roblox, the Bumble things going on. Coupang went public today out of South Korea. Pandemic-related stocks that have done, or opportunities that have done well, just with what's happening in the world, like you said. So tech stocks have been, on fire, as it were. GameStops of the world have brought a lot of attention to the tech world as well.
Yeah.
So now people are looking at smaller cap plays, like, hey, I may have missed the GameStop play, but what's the next one that's undervalued or underappreciated or needs some love in the tech space? And there's a lot going on. And then, like you said, NFTs, a non-fungible token space, security breaches. Microsoft's gotten hacked, Star Alliance got hacked, the government of Norway, I think, got hacked, Tesla's gotten hacked. Yeah. So there's a lot of things in both those worlds that are happening. Yeah,
that story on Tesla yesterday we mentioned, very interesting. I mean, it wasn't all in their factory, but 150,000 cameras included in that hack. Yeah. I mean, they were talking schools, libraries, things like that, even their factories. So let's get into some opportunities. And this is the point here, guys. We're talking about maybe companies that are just on the way up that we haven't heard of yet, and opportunities that lie within those. So let's get into a couple here that we can talk about on the security side of things first, which is SOLV, the ticker here in Canada.
Yeah. So Solvable Solutions Inc. It's a company we invested into pre-IPO. They went public a couple of weeks back, slow, steady right now. But something that we thought was going to be interesting simply because of what's happening in the world of security. Again, just with everything that just happened with all of these hacks, we think security is going to be the next level because there could be work from home situations. There's a lot of online transactions taking place. Their ability to verify data before it goes in between intermediaries and the speed at which they can do it really drew our attention. The most that you could do is sort of a Visa at 40,000 transactions a second. These guys were clicking at 150,000 1,000 transactions a second, which blew our minds away.
Amazing.
So we thought, you know what, let's give it a whirl, and we invested in. And I think as the company starts to get out news, they've released a couple of patent announcements, which have been interesting as well. Let's see where they go, but that's an early stage story that we think as they'll get a US listing, I think, at some point in the near future. Once those things start to happen, I think you'll see a lot more progress.
Yeah, so we want to be, talking about these names that could possibly get the uplisting to a bigger exchange before that even happens, to have an idea. The next one we're going to mention here, recent guest on the show, Ventrapoint, VPT, the ticker here.
Yeah, I think we just picked up that one because you put me on the spot last time saying what was my tech pick, and that one worked out pretty well. And I think when we talked about it, it was about 8 cents, and it's popped off to about 45 cents. And it's been one of the most active traders on the venture, also trades in the US. They put out some good news since we were last on. Most recently, they had a couple of sales orders. They've verified their manufacturing status, and importantly as well, in China, their partner there got it out into the healthcare world in China and has got initial sales in China as well. So those things have also helped maintain the stock, and it's kicked between 40 and 50. They cleaned up a bunch of warrants that were there at 10 and 12 cents. So those are all gone. The company's fully cashed up. Debt's gone. There are a bunch of warrants at 50 cents, so something to look out for. There might be a trading opportunity in between there.
Interesting.
And if they have more news coming, you might be able to play around what's happening with the warrants at 50.
So VPT, possible uplisting for that one?
It's listed on the OTC as well.
Okay,
Yeah.
already.
So it's on
Perfect.
both.
Let's talk about liquid. What is it? LIQD?
LQID.
LQID.
Yeah,
My
that was
mistake.
again. That was one that we liked because of the fact that it's in that NFT space.
Right.
It does have. The best way to look at it is the non-fungible tokens. You've got Gronk, who just signed a deal yesterday as the first NFL player to have one. NBA has the deal with GameStop. GameStop has generated $230 million in revenue off of these NFTs. And so we thought it was interesting on the LQID side. They have the NFTs. They will add an augmented reality piece to it, which they just announced. But the way to look at it is Google gave away search so that you could get the advertising data. And what they're saying is we'll help you with the NFT side, the augmented reality side on the NFTs, to be able to get your verification stuff later on, and that's where their big play is.
It's amazing this technology is growing at the pace that it is, and people like Gronk, people like artists too. I think the artist connection, and especially for the music industry.
Yes, Steve Aoki just did a
It's
deal.
going to be
Yeah.
amazing,
Yeah.
just absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, Rahim Alani, OCI Groups. Always a pleasure to see you, and happy to have you in the studio for a change, talking some tech opportunities, guys, here in the Canadian side of things. We'll try and do that a little bit more often for you, and just get you exposed to some opportunities that could be under the radar and still to come. Neil and Sean, tech ideas for today.
Yeah.
All of it.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Raheem. I have
Thank
some
you,
love here on the chat, too.
No,
Mr.
I was gonna
Guapo says, the big OG Raheem. Mr. Guapo. So I don't know if you guys are friends or not, but...
El Guapo?
El Guapo? Yeah, who knows? Hopefully not too much into that business. But yeah, no, thank you, Raheem. Look, NFTs are huge, man. We've seen that happen with some of the crypto space as well. So those are some good names to watch out for. And yeah, I'm super excited. I'm already long into Roblox. I bought a couple dips here. So we're really excited to see where that goes, up to $79 right now. My last dip buy there was at $77.25 and then $78.19, and we just touched $79. So someone said on the chat, what does it mean when it says Roblox $77.92 at the bottom? I guess, Neil, you're not in any positions, but
I'm flat.
If you're joining us for the first time, that's what's at the bottom of the screen. It's our current positions. So you'll see right now I'm long something, anything obviously in green beside the word long. Means that we own that, and then anything short means we've borrowed that stock and we're hoping for it to go down. So you'll see me and Neil in and out of positions as we go, but I'm excited. I actually wanted to talk to Raheem about Palantir. Maybe we'll do that next time if he has any thoughts about that. You guys know I love me some Palantir. So let's get going. That's Canada's own Kathy Wood right there. You just had him on the show. So
And Sean, there was actually a super chat, and I want to make sure I get it right, because it was Patrick Carlson was asking a little bit. He wanted to know Raheem's thoughts on BioHarvest. So we'll get his thoughts on that, and we'll get that back to you if he's got a response for you. Make sure we get that to you on air. So thank you for the super chat. We do what we can. It was a little bit of a quick hitter, and I know you guys have your questions. We'll try to get them to Raheem shortly.
Yeah, for sure. Raheem, BioHarvest Sciences. We'll get his opinion. BioHarvest Sciences. We'll get his opinion and pass it along to you. Let's have a look, guys, at some upgrades and downgrades for today. Going to be some big names on here once again. We mentioned this one at the end of the show yesterday. Asana out with earnings. Yeah, up better part of 10% here. Pre-market, Costco, GE again today upgraded, but we are a little bit negative to start things off. Some hotels on here. LVS, nothing terribly exciting on the downgrade side of the board today, guys.
So it's going to be an interesting thing because we talk about Boeing and GE. For those of you who don't know, that a little bit of an interesting relationship usually in price movement in the stock, and I thought it made sense. And actually picking up some GE and look. Boeing just crossed 250, so candidly, you can make some money there. It's a 40% return from when I was looking at it, a post-celebration play, post-election type play. So I took a little off and want to get into GE. And it's not that it might not go to like 12 on this pullback. I still don't know why they're doing this, or I shouldn't say doing the split. Or thinking of or considering this reverse split. I'm still not really sure the logic behind it, but you get an opportunity to buy on a dip here, and it makes a heck of a lot of sense to me. You talk about taking profits in other positions and trying to jiggle around. That makes and it just makes sense. And this is a place for me to start nibbling in GE. The fact they get the upgrade, I suppose, is a bit of a bonus. But who knows? You have stimulus money coming in, and we're not really sure exactly where that's going to go in the market. And I do suspect with tech, some of the tech names looking pretty good, and some of the meme names looking at prices, which a lot of people might still find attractive. It could lean towards that particular direction. Although, I mean, that NASDAQ still hasn't cracked 13,000 and held above it. Although twice pre-market it's tried to get there. Maybe it does after the open. But General Electric, I do like this on the dip for the buy. And you got to be happy with Boeing through 250. Finally got there again. Should have sold some last time it got there. Then you could have bought the dip.
Yeah, guys, and we're going to mic drop on Boeing. I've been recommending this thing forever, so I mean, just at least since here for you guys. Anyways, I was into Boeing up here, or back here, sorry, 212. I checked, that's the price I'm in at right now. It did dip up like Neil, or go up to 240 like Neil was mentioning there, before it dipped that back down to the low side. We were buying more, and now we get 250. And then I tweeted out yesterday, you can follow me on Twitter, and we got a lot of love for that tweet yesterday as well when we talked about, where is it? Right here it is, right here. Let me show it to you guys. Boeing yesterday, close to a deal to sell dozens more 737. And I said this was going to happen, and then my thing hasn't even happened yet. I said wait until you start seeing Chinese, or China, I guess, Chinese Airlines, China, start buying some of these up. And then some love there. Thank you, Michael, Tony Brown, everything like that. Thank you for that. And like I said, I don't have a problem, sticking my neck out and trying to make some predictions for you guys. And so Boeing, just another one. You guys know that we pounded the table on DraftKings for a very, very long time as well. We're long in the 30s on that. What a rip that's had. Man, we recommended this one just a couple days ago down at 55. You're not going to get a better opportunity than that. It may come again. And then the one name that we always talk about that's on our watch list today, that thank God is starting to go back to the upside right now, is Palantir, up another 4.5%. We've been buying in these mid-20s like a lot, so we'll see if this can get going. I still think this has a lot of runway back to its highs. I mean, these highs, forget about it for now. $40, $45 may not come there, but I'm looking more like a reasonable high in the mid-30s. I think we can get to. A lot of this was on, obviously you can see the dates here, late January. A lot of this was on that GameStop and the meme stocks, and a lot of talk on different Reddit names. So we did get up to 45 on Palantir. Obviously, when I was long down here, $9, should have sold for 4x, but we get greedy, and plus some shit, well, I did sell for some, but it's also a long-term play, guys. So like Boeing, I am long-term on Palantir, also short-term with some calls. So we're gonna go through our watch list. All of these names are on there. And GE, remember I said yesterday we didn't understand it, was a great opportunity to sell. So yeah, if you did sell yesterday, then you don't have to worry about what's happening today, down another 4% after just a disastrous afternoon yesterday. But it's been a nice little run for GE, off of 10. We're still long here, 10.50, so it's all good. But I am looking to maybe go long here today off of what I think is probably overdone. But who the hell reverse splits their stock 1 for 8? I don't understand that.
All right, guys, I was so happy to see Raheem here this morning. I completely forgot to show you this number. Initial jobless claims from last week in the U.S., 712,000 versus 725 expected. So a little bit better on the initial jobless claims, unlike what we saw last week at this time. Speaking of the watch list, let's have a look at what is coming up a little bit later on, and also how you can see the watch list. Guys, make sure you head over to that link and register if you haven't done so already. That is a new home for the watch list. We have been getting requests for the today's to stay up for longer than just today. So we are working on a solution for that as well. So if you're someone who likes to look back over yesterday's, the day before's, things like that, we are working on a solution for that as well. So just a heads up, that is coming. GameStop, we mentioned it already briefly, guys. What on earth do we do with GameStop today?
Play the momentum, man. I think going into GameStop and having too much of a bias has always gotten me into a little bit of trouble. Now, the only thing I will say, and I was going over this before, and I think we can maybe talk about it. If I got my 15-minute chart, I'll go back so you can see. I mean, the last time you had that crazy rise, this was, these are the drops that we're talking about. You look at these two big ones, both on the same session on the 25th. And anyone remembering that day is going to remember the multiple halts to the downside off the open, and then just an unbelievable, whatever you want to call it. It was like successive halts down. It bounced off of 100 and it slammed back up. Now, it did have some trouble breaking through those previous highs. Worth noting, I'm almost 100% sure, like this top here at 180, I think we broke that one on that day, to be honest with you guys, but in the aftermarket or in the pre-market the next day. So if you think about the fact that we resisted some of those tops, it was a down day when the next day gapping down, which is sort of similar to what we're having. Of course, this is a more extreme gap down. And then it tried to pop back up, could not get past like afternoon resistance, right? So there was at 150 on that particular day, which 150 ended up being a big level. Tried to get there off of the open and then absolutely failed for the rest of the day. I think the difference here would be the way in which this came up. That consolidation off 40, the conviction is a long-term play. Of course, Cohen coming through in the transition has a lot of people feeling bullish about it and not wanting to sell their shares. I mean, at this price, I don't know if you're long 40, how you're not taking some profit here or all of it, quite frankly. But and then, of course, stimulus checks coming through, which I think would make more sense to go into AMC than GameStop. But that's the only difference I could see. So when I look at this 285 afternoon level, I've got to be thinking about that as pattern-wise a bit of a resistance point if it gets there. Now, maybe you extend that to 300 because it was a big one. But it could make one of those squeezes to 260. I tend to be thinking about a rollover at 85 or 300, and I would probably at least try the short. Candidly speaking, I will tell you right now, I was short at 342.50 and lost when it broke 347. When it held at 348, I was short at 345 and managed to. I made money on the trade of my number 2 stock on the day, but I accidentally got out of all of it when I took the second half out and overfilled long with an incorrect order size. Got out of that for a small hit, and that was at 331. And then next thing you know, it was at 300. And so that was like the biggest bungle ever. And I blame Roblox because we're sitting here staring at the screen for like an hour, not eating and not doing anything else, and should have taken a step back, gone to the bathroom, refreshed myself, and been more ready to trade that. Thankfully, I did that before Roblox opened. But GameStop, that 350 top was unbelievable. I don't think we'll see anything like that today.
No, and the thing is, I think you hit it on the nose the first time when you started that segment there, and you said, play the momentum. Like yesterday, I heard a term that I've never heard before, and someone said, and again, if you remember, if you're on the chat right now, say who you are, and I will shout you out if I can remember. But they said it's barcoding, right? Why was it just barcoding? And if you see here, what that meant was just back and forth, like like this is a barcode, up and down, up and down. And then all of a sudden, at about 11 o'clock, like about 11, let's call it, I don't know, 11:15, whatever. It seems like that 300 break really started to get this thing going, and then we barcoded again here around 3:30, and then for some reason we hit that 350 mark, and then it was just like, see ya, halt, and then we had, I think there were 7 halts in here, so halt there at 310, halt, so that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7. Yeah, so 7 halts yesterday on GameStop before a little bit of barcoding in the afternoon again. But we did dip down to 225 before just, sort of up, down, and around. So we'll see what happens right now. Let's go over a little bit here. 256. So we're trying to think about where can we break GameStop out at? And I mean, yeah, I think if you just get some of these highs taken out, 256 or so. But remember, it was like the 50s. It actionable at 300 yesterday, actionable at 350. So if you're waiting for some kind of an area, I would say let's look at the even dollars before we do anything. But it needs to get going again, right? And I think it's very, very obvious when GameStop starts to move. You'll hear Neil and I start to say, uh-oh, here goes GameStop. We have Greg and Prad also trading it, Brennan looking at it. So we have a lot of eyes on GameStop, plus we have you guys. So if it starts moving again, definitely holler at us. I don't know if you need to put in any, I mean, if you're long right now, then watch it. But if you're flat, I don't know if you need to put in any conditional orders. I think you just wait for the action to come through. Like, I don't think it's a short through 243, and I also don't think it's a long through 256. So, like, let's wait to see, if they come back in droves today, all those stimulus checks, hey, man, the paper's flying right now in the U.S. We talked about that earlier. So where's my whiz? Here it is. There it is. So we're going to hand out the paper. And what happened last time, guys? You're part of it. We're part of it. The last time this money got distributed, we saw the market just go absolutely insane, and we saw a lot of stocks starting to rebound. So let's see if that happens again today. Look at the NASDAQ, guys, already up that 1.6%, although fading off a little bit. Yeah, some of these names are pretty hot fire. Let's see if they continue.
Yeah, definitely some disparity between markets this morning. We'll bring in Arun here and have a look at the ES, check out the S&P futures and see what we need to be aware of as far as levels this morning. Arun, it was all-time high territory for the Dow yesterday, but the S&P and the NASDAQ not so much.
Yeah, we got a decent expansion yesterday. We kind of fell off towards the end. Well, not really fell off, but we did kind of slow down towards the end a little bit. Now here we are, broken above all of that. As we come up to this 30 area, there seems to be some activity around here. I'm not sure exactly how strong it is, but around 8 o'clock this morning, there was just enough for me to take a shot on the short side here, just around 25. So I risked about 5 points with 30 as a stop. And I've already gotten some out around the 18 mark. So 1-to-1 risk reward ratio. If you can't get that kind of a price, I don't see the point in shorting it at this point. But if it comes down into the 15s, then I start considering possible longs. Now 15s going down to 05. So 39.15 going down to 39.05. There could be potential longs that kind of sits in the area where we kind of fell off from yesterday. So that's an area to watch for potential longs if they set up. If you get into the 25s again, then I would consider the possibility of a short only if you see activity on the sell side coming in again, because there seems to be something there. I can't pinpoint how strong it is, but it was just enough this morning in the pre-market because pre-market's fairly light. Now, if that holds into the market open as well, that level might be a little bit bigger than initially indicated. So that might be actually a decent short up there as well. So 30 on the top end, 05s on the bottom, and here we are trading around 20.
Great stuff. Thanks so much, Arun. We'll check back in again tomorrow morning as we head towards the open here, guys. Under 30 minutes to go before we get the markets open. Roblox, the next one on the list this morning, RBLX. Successful debut, to say the least. Yesterday, we did have to wait forever for this thing to start trading, but RBLX was up 15% at its highs from the open price yesterday, guys.
Already in here. It's already come back down and around again. It seems to want to hold. And who knows if that's what's going to happen or not right now, but it seems to want to hold this 77 here for Roblox. Again, we have some consolidation. We talk about that with Mark Roberts all the time, and it's how I've been trading for a long time, using some of these consolidation levels as areas of concern and support and resistance. So it looks like right now 75. I'm going to be holding this long until we test downside through 75, so it'll be a $3 hit if we do have this. We've averaged in, so we have a little bit more shares, obviously, than we wanted or than we had up here. So it's still not a huge position. I wouldn't hold something $3 against me if it was a monster position for sure, especially on the second day of an IPO. So we'll wait to see. But yesterday, yesterday was pretty fun. You didn't have too much movement in the afternoon. It was basically just a quick little dip and then just a monster move up to 75, and that was the high. So that's why we're going to use 75 as a little bit of an area of concern there today, just to see what it does dancing around that 75 level. 72 was resistance yesterday on the upside, so we never got back there after testing it a couple times in the afternoon. We dipped down, but at the same time, there was no major sell-offs here. Like this was 71 down to 69. That's $2. That's, not a huge move for an IPO up to $70, right? So, you know what? I think there's definitely some bids here. A lot of people talking even about Roblox yesterday. It's all on the TV. It's on the TV again today. So let's just wait to see. There is some stuff about Cathie Wood there and looking to buy into some Roblox. We did have a huge spike again, I have it on eSignal. If you guys have another trading platform, maybe Icon. I don't know if there's anything else that can confirm that, but I saw it going up to $92 there. And right now, we just got to 79 again, it looks like, and we turned around. So let's wait to see what happens here. Sorry, 78. It just got to 78 and turned around. So 78 to 79, sorry, 79 to 77 looks to be a decent range with playing off of this 75 level. Maybe the very bottom here, 70, I don't know, 74.65, something like that. But anyways, I'm going to be long into 75. We'll see what happens at that point, and then I'm going to have to make a decision. Otherwise, hey, let's see if this thing runs today.
To me, the last thing you said, or the second last thing you said, is what makes it a long play for me today. Not the gap up, it's the lack of a sell-off. You're retesting a pullback into 69. A lot of times when you get that hard flush, you'll retest some of those opening lows, like that 64.50. There was monster sellers on the way. This initial push up, there was monster sellers at 69 and 70. And remember, because it's a direct listing, all kinds of shares can unload, and it still managed to chew through that. We're talking like million share orders at a time on each of those levels. And then on the way back down, you hold that 69. So the only levels you have is to look at that post-market or that opening range top. So I already have a bid in front of this little dip. And again, it's 74 here, but it's also worth noting it's more of a price area. 74 to 75 is a support area on this stock. There's no firm levels when it's only traded for a couple of days. I actually just saw NEO come off like about like 50 to 60 pennies all in one candle there. If that actually dipped down closer to like 43, I like a 42.65, but I didn't see anything really happen. But there was a small volume spike there in NEO, and then that came off, busting down back down through 44, and that was up 6% previously.
All right, we'll double check on that. Let's talk about AMC in the meantime, guys. A lot of people online talking about AMC and whether or not the earnings actually mattered after market yesterday. They reported a massive loss as expected. Everything was closed for a year. They operate theaters, so massive loss reported. But you can see the initial reaction here after market yesterday was positive, and that was based off comments that they released in the report saying, as vaccines roll out, they're expecting revenue to return, and also these movies, and I mean there's a lot of big movies that have been shelved over the past 12 months that are expected to possibly get rolled out this year.
A few more. Look, California going to be opening theaters up relatively soon when they meet some metrics. With California and New York, you're talking about more than 20% of the U.S. theater market. AMC raised over $2 billion in capital last year, since the start of the pandemic last year. Actually, it's exactly 1 year since the WHO called this pandemic. And they still have $1 billion of that in cash. So they're actually in a pretty good spot. And when I jokingly said, and I'm not really joking when we say this, it would make a lot more sense for stimulus money to speculate on something like a reopen play than it would be necessary on GameStop at 240, 250, where it's not even the same squeeze that it would be before. So, I think to the extent that there were some metrics in there worth noting, certainly their cash position was worth thinking about, and then some of the reopens worth thinking about there. Overall, I don't think the large loss matters too much. I don't know that anyone was expecting too much different from that on a revenue basis. When it comes to AMC today, you can't ignore something like, oh, let's pop in the aftermarket right to $11 and then make a pre-market high right around there as well. So yeah, will I be looking for an 11 break on AMC? Yeah, pretty much. And then if we actually push to the downside, just going back and then showing you what happened in the afternoon. Now remember, GameStop is probably a lot of the reason why you saw that flush. So I don't know how much I care about some of these prices at $9.50, but it is worth noting it tried to hold just below $10, and was sort of like back and forth between that 10 before ramping in the aftermarket. So I like that $10 range on any kind of a dip. We're right in the middle, so I'm not necessarily going to touch it right here at the 10.50, but I like the break at 11. I'll take a dip at $10 if it can get there.
But the same thing happened yesterday. I mean, it's just a GameStop again yesterday, right? I mean, you had, again, not really doing too much of anything yesterday, and then it started to get ramped up to 12.50 there, right in the pre-market, and then not much happening, and then all of a sudden GameStop started to go, so this thing went from 11.50 basically up to 12.20 there, and then just on the GameStop a collapse, I guess. We could talk about that well, you already did it. From 350 down to 170, you see this going from 1220 all the way down to 960. That leads me to believe that, like that $10 level that Neil was talking about, that there is at least something down here, 950, 10, something like that. There should be some decent support down in this area, $9.80, $10, something like that. AMC is the same story. Look, they were basically a pretty shitty beat-down company even before the pandemic started, right? I mean, if you look here at the chart, if we could go back over, okay, this is back to June 2020. We can just keep going. It doesn't matter. They were on their way down, right? I mean, look what AMC was doing in 2019. We go for $12. So this is back when, you know, everything was okay. September 18th, September of 2019, we were $12, and it just kept, you know, ticking down all the way, and until we get obviously that big whoosh down in March down to $2. But it's not like AMC was rocking and rolling when we had huge movies out before, right? I mean, they were getting crushed. You see 14, 15, like you just go back not even that far, man. I mean, this is April of 2019. So you're back 2 years ago. The stock was $17, right? When we were all out there shaking hands, coughing on each other and everything. We were up to 17, and then it went all the way down to 9. Like AMC's in a world of hurt no matter what. And I think a lot of people have obviously built out their own home theaters and things like that. Will we be taking our kids and dates and whatnot back to the movies? Of course. Will it be happening as much though? You know, I think that's the thing that we have to watch out for. So I think there's a solid base. I keep saying that around 8 or 9 for AMC. We'll see what happens today. But for a day trade, yeah, let's see if we can't load up between $9.50, $10, somewhere in here. And then honestly, if GameStop starts going, I have an order in right now to go long through 11, just because I don't want to miss that opportunity to go long. So if it gets up to 11, we'll take it. Other than that, we'll wait to see if we can't build a position down here, 980, 990, something like that. We'll have some orders to sit there and see if we can't get that to go.
All right, it was Wedbush as well that was agreeing with you, Sean, or even more conservative on the price for AMC. They were talking about $6.50. That was an increase as well, price target increase from $5 to $6.50. So there's that. Let's go to Palantir. Another day, another contract for Palantir. This one a big one. 6-year strategic partnership with a leading automotive technology company. They're going to revamp the way that they look after their financials using one of Palantir's platforms, guys. I believe it's Foundry that they did this deal on for 6 years.
Look, Palantir is a long-term play. We keep talking about that, but it also moves when the NASDAQ moves. You saw a big move yesterday off of that monster open for the NASDAQ. A lot of stocks started ripping higher and higher yesterday. We had a big move, obviously, the day before when we were up that 4 or 5% on the NASDAQ from $23 to $25 that day. And then yesterday's top at 26 and change. And then you come in today and you're back to that 26 level. So again, a lot of consolidation up to the top level. I know there's going to be a lot of options that are going out this week. So, you know, they may try to get this back up. I don't think we sniff 30 today. That would be unbelievable. It would already be up huge if this contract really did mean something to current situation. But look, they already have, like, they have decade contracts with the Pentagon. They have contracts now with the British government. This new contract today, there's so much that's happening with Palantir that, you know, and we know that there's a base there with ARK Investments and some of these other guys, you know, loading up on some of these tech names. I like Palantir, you know that, but the playbook's been the same for it. We wait for it to kind of dip down, and then we try to purchase some of the, like, we wait for the NASDAQ to really start to get hit. And then when it does, man, we just try to find some key levels, and it's generally been like the 50 levels. So with this one, you play off 24. Even if you use 24.50, you don't have to get out because it only goes down to the quarters. Same thing here, 24.50 holds. So there's that. And then now that we're up to 25, we're going to look at this 25.50 level right here. And then really a nice little base at 25 also that was formed down here. So if Palantir gives us the opportunity to get a little longer, down 25 and a quarter, we'll take that as an opportunity not to pass. So yeah, I'm going to be going long. You do have some consolidation down here, 24.80 maybe as your ultimate bottom. But if risk is in your portfolio and in your appetite, I think today Palantir should be one to watch, because a takeout of 26 probably brings us at least to 26.20 right here. And then we'll see if it touches 27 today. But hey, look, more contracts, more good news for Palantir, up another 4%. Quickly, though, I want to show you the imbalance locator. There's Coupang. We talked about that, a Korean e-commerce company coming through today. Roblox, I'm already long that one. I'm long 77.20. It's out $1 right now. We'll see what happens there. AMC, we're going to get to NEO soon. And then there's the big bad boy there, GE, still getting hit. today, down another 3%.
Yeah, where's the bottom going to be on that one? I'm looking forward to that one in GE. But I would like Palantir break at 26 a heck of a lot more if it hadn't rejected a breakthrough when it got to that price yesterday. So if it had gapped above this, I think Sean might have mentioned that as well, and I think that's the key thing. Like if we had gapped above this price, where suddenly 26 becomes support and we're above that 25, I'd like this a little bit better for that little stretch run type play. So 25 and 25.50 on dips makes sense. Might not get some neo dips, so it might actually have to be something like Palantir. Although Roblox might give me that dip buy, so we can always try that.
All right, just looking at JD.com here, up 5.5% this morning. Another one that reported these Chinese stocks had, if you remember, back on Monday, big moves higher with the overall market. But JD up again this morning, 5.4%. Not a heck of a lot of volume so far in the pre-market, but another one worth watching off of earnings. Let's talk about Coupang. Yeah, the Korean-based e-commerce company coming today. Hopefully, again, during the show, we'll see what happens. Japan's SoftBank behind this one. It's about $4.5 billion in value. They a whole bunch of shares. I mean, 130 million shares, guys, priced at $35.
Yeah.
It's one of the biggest. It's certainly one of the biggest IPOs to come through. It's like that 60 bill valuation there for Coupang, and there's not going to be anything to show. As always, Sean shows you that imbalance locator. We'll get that to you obviously throughout the show to see if we're going to get an indicative open here, and we can't predict. If we can't trade it live, then we can't trade it live. They have like a 24, maybe like a quarter of the market share, and it's Korea, of course. So. They're not necessarily obviously going to be, they're not going to be the next Amazon, right? Because you're talking about the U.S. market, or even try and compare them to like a Baba in China or something like that. Like it's not the same thing, but they have gotten into food delivery, and they are expanding. So there are some potential growth opportunities there, and that market expected to grow in the next. I think in the next 3 years, they're expected to grow by 50%. So there are some growth aspects for this particular name. I think there should be some hype. You got the stimulus checks coming through. You got the NASDAQ up. You have the yield curve concerns somewhat abated today. So I think all that sets up well. Roblox went pretty well yesterday. A lot of that sort of momentum into this name is looking pretty good. I think that's why it falls into the category of, hey, we'll be wanting to be looking at that opening print on a name like CPNG. I will say this, though. At this point, I'm just highly skeptical that we ever get any one of these things to open up before lunchtime. And I'm not sure why this is now the case, but it just seems to be the new norm that you never get an open, and you only get to trade these things for a couple of hours in the afternoon because it takes too long to open.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully we'll be able to trade that, and just like Roblox took its sweet time yesterday, I think it was, here we go, it was, 132 yesterday before Roblox opened up, and then Coupang coming with, I don't think it's as much hype, but it's a bigger valuation, so who knows when that'll get all settled down, but we'll wait to see Coupang. Here comes Roblox dipping back down. We're going to get longer here. Like I said, we're going to see what happens here in this area here, like 72, 73. I was going to put a bigger bid here around 75, but it may just fall here through 75. So if it does, then I really got to test out what's happening around 72. So we're going to wait to see what happens there. So I do have some more bids to get longer here, but again, with this fall down, especially with a big imbalance, like we were just talking about there is a big buy imbalance right now on Roblox. So, it's kind of strange to see that come down. Ooh, I just saw a big sell order there as well. So, Roblox coming to the downside. We'll see what happens. It needs to get all settled down here. But, coming to the downside, we're long 77.24, it looks like. 24, yeah.
I'm sure, you know what, this wick can't be right because I don't think it got all the way down to like 75 in the 50s. Otherwise, I should be long. It looks like there was probably a dark pool print down there, but I'm picking it up in front of that 74, 74.50. Could have gotten a couple seconds ago, but it looks like it's trying to bounce off 76 here.
All right, NASDAQ still holding on to 1.75% here to the upside, trying to lead the entire market higher. We saw over the past couple of days some of these tech stocks coming back to life, putting in impressive performances back on Monday. Bit of a pause yesterday, but we talked about it with Raheem. There's been multiple stories. If you want to talk about Tesla, if you want to talk about Microsoft on some security issues with their email server, a lot of these though with room to go higher still.
Sorry, just to come over here. I saw an iceberg at 76 for like 2 seconds. Well, for more than a couple of seconds, jumped in front of it, got like 10s, and then of course, like right after it breaks. So I'm into Roblox now. I should have waited for 75.50 where I was before, but I saw the iceberg. That got me in the pre-market. I like iceberg orders in the pre-market. Unfortunately, it did break just 2 seconds ago.
Okay, yeah, I didn't. I just took some there as well. So I'm going to be going into this one pretty hard. So the price really irrelevant to me right now. We're just going to wait to see what happens down here. What was that, Brendan? You're talking about the big tech stocks. Yeah. Okay. So the biggest one for me is going to be Square. Square. What a great buy that was, man. We're walking on water here. We picked some Square up at 212 the other day. We could easily retest these levels, so it's not, we're not counting the cash or anything. We're just really liking that pickup right now at 212. I think Square goes a hell of a lot higher than that, though, so very, very excited. Yesterday's high, 237, so we'll see if we could take that out today. Obviously, with the NASDAQ rocking and rolling up that 1.6%, you get Square. We already know that its deviation's higher than the NASDAQ as far as the beta is concerned, so we'll wait to see what it does. If the NASDAQ pulls back, we love this. I love this trade in the mid 220s here. A lot of up and down. And again, steal the word, a lot of barcoding back here before a drop. Look, the thing is, a lot of these high growth stocks, I can't say this enough, they're great day trades, but you need to still have some key levels in mind. And I mean, you can't let, the NASDAQ could turn red. I hate to say this. I mean, Valeria's in, she's got a little bit of red on today. No green on, though. Let's show Valeria quickly here. I just show her shirt here. Is this an up day shirt or a down day shirt right there, guys? I think
This is the gold shirt.
Yeah, I think it's a. Oh, it's a goat shirt. That's a lamb, I think.
Goat.
But okay, so that's the goat shirt. So now I'm thinking that this market can go up because the greatest of all time wouldn't want the market to go down. So let's wait to see what happens here. But anyways, the point I was trying to get at before throwing to Valeria there was that we can retrace back down easily. I'm not going to take any breakouts off the open. Not today. I'm not sure which way this market's going to go. So right now for Square, it's definitely a name that I like, and I want to get my money in, and I want to get it in here at 235. So we could get a small position off the open. But again, I'm very, very wary that this thing drops down. That's the number one tech name for me. We went long on Mr. Softy a couple days ago at 233. Now it's up to 235. So I think we pegged that name properly as well. And then again, yesterday, if we just break down some highs from yesterday, 237 was the high on Mr. Softy. So I think there's an opportunity to go long there as well.
Yeah, just going back to some tech names, Oracle, not necessarily on our watch list this morning, I don't believe, but they had earnings guiding poorly. I mean, overall numbers were good. Cloud's been fantastic, and there were 3 times the S&P in 2021 going into earnings. So it's been a bit of a pullback for this name, but it's right back into this 67 where you did have a short consolidation before you had a breakout 67.50 just last week. And this is where it could get into a chop zone. I like it 65 to 67 if we can get in there. And if the market rolls over, I just see this NASDAQ, testing 13,000 and pulling off of it. Something like an Oracle could give you a bigger dip. If the market goes in, you might get a dip all the way into 65 in something like an Oracle. So this one's going to be my radar to pick some shares up. I actually just got the original price that I was waiting for on Roblox. So it just went down to that 75, 60 area. And still testing below that 75. And it was 74 to 75, yesterday's high, pre-market lows as well.
All right, we're going to talk about NEO here, but I'll show you this first, guys. Blink Charging just popping up on volume scanner there. They received a grant from the Ohio State Environmental Protection Agency for some work in Ohio. So 8.5% here for Blink already. Big volume spike, you can see, just went from 37.5 to 38.5. Lots of room over here as well for Blink. Let's talk about NEO. Speaking of electric vehicles, some sales numbers out in China overnight for the month of February. An increase of 365% month over month. That's a month over month number for auto sales in China, guys.
Yeah, okay, so we'll look at NEO again. NEO's been just such a monster run. I remember getting caught in that move down from NEO here down to, let's check the daily chart here quickly for you. That's what I really want to look at here. The daily chart, this 31, 32, actually $32. Again, I got to clear the cache. I don't know why my NEO chart only goes back this far. But anyways, it doesn't really matter for right now. Yeah, so what a big move up the last couple of days, man. 35 all the way to 43. We got through the monthly numbers there from XPeng, Li Auto, NEO. They were all fine. It's not that they were selling not enough cars. It's not that there's any negative news really about any of these names. It's just that they're Chinese. They got hit on this move down with the NASDAQ. We've all seen that. They peaked high at the end of the year. And, it just, as soon as we broke below basically 55, 56 here, NEO hasn't had too many successful green days besides this big one that happened on that 4% up day. And then now today you're getting the tick up again. So let's just wait to see. Obviously, again, like Palantir, like every stock you saw yesterday, a lot of them peaked at about 10 o'clock besides GameStop. And that was a 45 peak there. So now you're back to 44, 44.20. Something's changed with my charts. They don't look the same today again. So I don't know what's happened here. I'm living like in bizarro world today, it seems like. 44 could be a good little break there for NEO. Again, I kind of just want to play some of these dips. Like, I hate to think it's going to dip back to 41, but you're up 7% today, guys. Like, is that reasonable? Like, I'm not sure what's going on. The NASDAQ starting to head a little downside, a big bump up here for NEO. I'm going to try to get long around 43 and then 42. I don't want to chase this name upside. It's just been such a monster move the last couple of days. If it continues, hey, man, I'll jump on board, but I'm just not sure.
Yeah, and for me, I mean, I wrote down 42.65 was the only thing I'd written. And this is an identical chart for me. I showed you this on my 15-minute chart. This looks exactly the same as Palantir. I mean, basically, the same thing. You had to break off the open that rejects at 45, and then you get a gap up today, which is shy of that number, which is why I don't love the breakout. I've only been looking for the dip. So that's going to be a 42.65 level for me. We're going to go to the board with Brendan here, but there is, and we'll come back with the imbalance locator maybe for Roblox, because there was a 1 million sell order priced exactly at 75, and then 75 just held a couple of seconds ago. But Brendan, you got an interesting one in the cannabis space.
Just watching Boeing as well, guys, on the list at the bottom there as well. We talked about that already. Yeah, Organigram, British American Tobacco, buying 20% of OGI today. So 430, top end of the range. 450 kind of corresponds with this congestion here on the daily chart. So 430 and then 450 for OGI, up 40% today. It's also holding $4 very, very well right now. So looking very strong, guys, for OGI.
All right, OGI. Yeah, I mean, look, we'll say a big shout out to anybody holding OGI. You got this spitting out of your mouth, but it's been a hard day, a hard couple months for cannabis stocks. If you've been in at some of those highs, we did get a bottom in those names, and you can check out even Tilray today. That's a very, come on, it's on NASDAQ. That's a popular one to watch. So we're going to watch. Told you, something's going on. Charts, let's go. Yeah, Tilray today up that 4%. Again, Tilray and Aphria are going to have that merger. It looks like that's going to go through without any problems. So, well, I assume, I haven't heard anything. If we could find a date on that, Brendan, maybe just to give to our viewers, I'm not sure. I think it was the end of Q2 maybe for that merger, because we're approaching end of Q1 now. So we'll see if that's going to come through. But 25.60 right now, Tilray. Again, like I said yesterday, we had tons of tops here early, and then a top again near 10 o'clock before just falling apart. And this is what can happen to these cannabis names. They're not super consistent. They're not steady, man. You got to play them when they're moving, and then play the momentum, play some of these breaks that happen. So right now we're going to wait for Tilray to do something, but we do have a high of 25.60. The other name that I like, obviously, is Aphria for a day trade. If I'm going to hold anything, I've talked about this over and over again, it would be Canopy or GRWG. I own both of those, Grow Generation and Canopy. So CGC is Canopy. See, there you go. Like, come on, I'm changing my charts to Aphria and it's just not. So the same play. Aphria and Tilray going to go hand in hand. And then here's CGC. Let's see how much they're up today. Up that 3% today. Yeah, 2% today on CGC. So again, look at this move to the downside. It's kind of crazy. You got to sort of protect some of these, but if the market fails like it's trying to do right now, cannabis could be in trouble again today.
Yeah, and so that OGI, I almost said OCGI. That's weird. OGI, 460 on the daily chart was a bit of a level. The fact that we failed at 440 in the pre-market has me thinking bearish on this particular name. If it breaks this 390, 395 area, it's gone through 4 a few times. If it breaks 395, I'm going to be shorted on a momentum sort of play to the downside. Otherwise, if it tests 440, usually I'd be rounding into a short at the high of the day. But I actually think that with that 460 on the daily, I might look for if it does push up, and let's say I get in and out of that 395 short and it gets stopped out like 10 or something like that, which could happen necessarily. You never know, but you always plan for sometimes the worst case. If it does bust to the top, I'd want to see it break this 440 level. And if it does and fails at 460, I then get into it in that regard. Also got this NVFY, which just broke down. This is another name. I don't know that it got to our watch list. But very, very quickly, I'll show you what the thought process is here. There was a breakdown. I missed it, 725. The stock's up 200%. Watch out. Very, very thin, very, very low float. So I want this to 750 because going into 930, I never want to average in past VWAP. It just usually is a bit of a losing game. So I'll give this one about 20, 30 cents to see if it can't get back to 650. But showing some some more signs of strength after a bit of a flush on NVFY.
Okay, so we're gonna wait. We just got another dip buy there in Roblox, 74.50. So
that order's bigger now.
I'm loaded up now on Roblox, but look at this big sell order at 75. So that's 1.3 million shares, just FYI on that one. That's a big sell order right there at 75. So that's going to be pressured. There is like a small 800, no, that's only 90,000 shares. So Roblox could be in trouble here off the open and could be in trouble big time as we are big time long. So we could be in trouble as well with that trade. But Palantir starting to go. Wow, only 1 minute to go now. Palantir up that level now, looking at 26, AMC looking at 11. We'll watch to see what GameStop does with that. But right now, Palantir, and then we're going to take GE on a break if it can go through this 80 level or so on GE. Watch out, actually a little bit higher. I think it was 85 there on GE. Yeah, 85, 86 break right here. We'll see if that can happen on GE, but it's going to be an exciting morning. We've got to get this Roblox going though. Yeah,
we have covered a lot for you. Hope you've enjoyed it here, guys. Take a second to hit the like, hit the subscribe. We got AMC on the move as well. We talked about maybe buying a dip in front of 10 even. No Moss, it's back. It got down to like a 1035 and now it's bounced back up to 1060. So watching for an 11 break on that particular name. GameStop back at 245, sorry, 242, check that. I'd watch for breaks to the upside. I think there could be resistance at 84 and then again at 300. Miss V is on the bell in, I guess we didn't give a name to the sweater, but it's a nice looking one there. So 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's get this party started. Roblox, hold that 75.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see what happens here, though, on the upside of Palantir. There it goes. We're going to break upside, and we're going to get into that one right now. Oh, no, we did not get it. Yes, we did. We got into Palantir. So a nice little trade there on Palantir. Let's see what it does now as we are long Palantir, 2604, trying to give this one some more room down to 25.75. So we take a little order there. We're going to see if we get longer now on Palantir down here in the 80s will be my next little drop for a bid.
And we'll already give the power up there. Organigram through that 95. I got 92 halves. Thank you, Day Trade the World, for that dark fill. But, oh, wow, another push there. Just got some out in the 70s. See if we can get another idea here where it's going to go. Now, Roblox is trying to hold 75, but Organigram, this is why we like that 395 break. We plan for the worst, we hope for the best, and it looks like we're going to get more of the best. If we go down to this price, 350, we're at about 6 o'clock. It had a bit of a pullback. I'd certainly be almost all flat, maybe hold 10 to 20% into that move, but already a nice one in Organigram.
Yeah, I'm not really even sure what happened here with GE. It looks like we did. Damn it, like this is what I mean. I didn't know I had an order in there actually to take that out. I did talk about 85, but it looks like it just ripped up there right at the beginning of the day there and gets us in at 85. So now we got to wait for some downside moves here. But Palantir's starting to go off right now. We're long at 95 right here off of a nice little dip by there in the 80s. And here we go. Palantir to the moon, hopefully. Let's go, guys.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Now, of course, our good friend Roblox, and it's only a good friend because it's currently holding 75. We like the fact it's hold that. Remember, 74 to 75 was a price area. I'm still waiting to get one more leg in front of 74 even, but if 74 goes, that's my kill spot. I'm not going to hold it past that range. It was $1 worth of range that I liked. If it just broke through one support level. If it breaks through another, I'll look a little bit lower. And we did see 69 as a price on Roblox, so we have to be wary of that. And of course, there it is. Bye-bye, Roblox. Where's my app? Where is it? Where is it? Okay, here it is. Yeah, you guys can see the key. I actually just got out of Roblox. I don't know where the message is.
Okay, so we're taking Palantir right now. Bang, bang, bang. Good trade there. We're still in our Roblox. But yeah, it's coming back down hard now through 73. We did take, I thought I had another bid there. Oh, I got a bid through 73.51 there.
I'm bottom wick.
Damn it, we didn't. Yeah, we'll join the club, man. Every day that happens to me. Okay, so it's too bad that I wasn't that bottom wick bidding because I was bidding there at 73.50 there on Roblox. I wish Neil would have punched me long, but he didn't. So
I got to get back in.
We'll wait. Yeah, hopefully, yeah.
That looks like a failed 74 break. So anyways, we'll talk this one through after I can get back into position here because anytime you have a key level like that, it breaks down, it gets people out. There's so many orders going through, so what happens is my stop triggers. The message back is like a split second delayed from the market is my guess. And then you're sort of waiting for it to come in. I knew I was out because I saw the order go. But then it flushes down, doesn't really go far. 80, it goes to 73.80, and that's about it. And then it comes right back to the upside. So you kind of get back in and then think about, okay, 73.80, 73.75 is a new low, and if it can hold that, you like it. Watch out, GameStop 260 for a break impending here. Brendan?
Genius Brands, guys, popped up yesterday. We were talking about it during the show. Chatter link to, yeah, Roblox. So here we go again, 7.8% for GNUS, Genius Brands, guys.
All right, yeah, there goes GameStop breaking right through
get
that
it?
260 there level. So it just goes right through there. I missed it. I didn't even have the order set up. So that was a big mistake there. Talk about, like, I got destroyed way more on this top wick here than that bottom wick we just got out there, breaking through 50. So GE now going to the downside. Everything right now, we're just going to hold on to our Roblox and see what that does. We're still at 73.50. And then Palantir still bouncing around, man. Our average price is 93. It's kind of surprised that the NASDAQ moving up and Palantir's not really. So that's a surprise to me, but we'll wait to see if that can go. And then GE, of course, we just might have got the worst wick ever.
Yeah, and of course, like the market's testing that 1,300, 13,000. I keep saying 1,300. My shorts are coming in. Of course, Roblox does not work. It tests through the bottom again, so it shakes me out another time. Gonna hang on to the short positions, NVFY. I just took some out, though. If it's gonna give me an 80-cent win right off the bat, off the open, on a stock that had shown all kinds of strength and is very thin, this was up over 200%. I'm gonna go ahead and make sure that I take that. But I wanted to come over to GameStop, and we talked about some levels here to the upside. 285 would be next, and maybe like a 300. So I like that 260 break. I didn't get the fill, but it did give you that little $2-3 look if you're a scalp trader. On the way back in, watch for 250 on a pullback. It went to 253 and then bounced like $10. I would tend to think that this pre-market high as well at 257 on another dip, if that can hold, I'll like to break out even more, which would next be at 265. You guessed it.
Yeah, I mean, every little break there. So this was just a disaster. We're holding a very, very small amount now of GE. This was a disaster right there, taking that print. Like I said, I don't want to take blowout prints off the open. Just didn't think we would get there. So that was a surprise when that hit, and then instantly we were down. So we'll look to see. I mean, I don't want to forget about GE, but we do want to wait to see what it wants to do there. Palantir just makes, oh my God, like, Neil, you talk about bad wicks. I mean, I get these, like I said, this is happening to me every single day. Look at that, the nether bottom wick there for me on Palantir. Just got to do better picking the spots, that's all. So yeah, we'll wait to see if that one can go. We're still up on Palantir because we had a nice little run there, and we're still in a little bit, and we'll take some more right now. So now we're into 80s, and let's just see if it gives up the ghost one more time back down here through 25.50 this time. So let's wait to see if that goes. But right now, Palantir on the retrace back down here with the NASDAQ. Really surprised that we didn't go higher on that move there. So be very, very careful with your PLTRs, guys.
Yeah, and be careful with this Neo testing this 43 level. I'm jumping in front of it. I wanted to dip by on Neo and Roblox, and I said, I don't know if we're going to get Neo, but it tested through the top. It was similar to that Palantir, but this time, no matter what, I'm not going to let this one break through that 43. I'm going to let it go if it goes for that price. When I noticed the fact that my shorts have worked for me, one long hasn't, so we're kind of shooting 2 for 3 here. And Neo, very, very similar type of play, buying that dip. I'd rather go 2 for 4 and not ruin the day. Hang on to the shorts. I have a tighter stop on these longs, but overall, we just bounced back to that 13,000, testing it again. So the plan was to dip by in front of specifically 42.65. I'll get out of this one at 43 and then retest my level. That 65, I'll allow it to break it. So I'm willing to buy a second time in front of 42.50, allowing 65 to break. So into Neo right now. Also going to go back over to, if I can, I just want to, guys, keep in mind, anytime you get big moves over in GME, watch out for cost, because GME just came from 60 to 50, and cost just went down 10%. So this stock is outsized moves relative to GME is an understatement.
Okay, guys, and what's an understatement right now is we're just going to be running that cash right here on Roblox, because right now we're in the money, $2, $3 now, and still making moves to the upside. Here goes Roblox. So nice at 77 now, 78. Like, this is that bottom that we'd wish to have, and we got it. 73.50. Now we're ripping to the high side, 77, 78. Just keeps on going. Mooning here, hopefully, is Roblox. Let's see if we touch 79 again today. Hey, man, anything's possible. We can dream big, right? Okay, Palantir. Look, I mean, some nice pickups finally on Palantir. So we get out a little bit there at 85, 86. Like, again, we stepped on ourselves again doing this, but we call this play early, so we're really happy that this is finally going. I'm just so pissed off right now about GE, because this was a disaster play. We lost our whole day there, and now we're just making it all back on some of these monster wins, guys.
Yeah, I got to go over to GE for a second here, because I just got out of Neo back into it. We talked about that 42.65, but this is the price that I actually like, down around that 12 even. So if we can hold it, I mean, if we can consolidate here, you got to remember the NASDAQ, and I got to show you guys the futures here. This is what's happening overall in the NASDAQ and the S&P, also holding around those highs. So I'm going to like some of these names on these dips if you can get good prices. Brendo?
quick mover recently, that's Genius Brand still. I was going to show you Skills, guys. Just reading on Skills, we had a big move over the past couple of days off of earnings. Looks like a couple now more price target increases for SKLZ as well, guys.
Well, you got to get those skills first, right? And then you get those price upgrades. So, yeah, like one of those, I think they were a SPAC at one point. So skills now making that move back to the downside. I'm just going to focus on what I have right now, man. Roblox, a big win. $3 now in the money. Palantir, it's cruising, but it's not doing anything. So we're just getting some out now. Like we're long here, 69, 65, 60s. You can see the average price, 67. So when we go up to 90s, of course, we're going to get some out. But the NASDAQ, though, coming back down. So it's making me a little nervous. We still have this 25.50 as our target, so all good there. And there goes Roblox. Beautiful, man. Great trade there. Up to 77.78 there. A nice little $4 win on Roblox as it just keeps on going up. So we seek a little bit of revenge on this one. I hate GE. That's the one that's really got me on tilt there. We make that mistake off the early open, and then thank God we get out there for 30-cent loser, and then I will take $4 win on Roblox. But a good win there, and then we're holding out hope that Palantir goes as well, guys.
Yeah, I just got some shares out, and again, I'm not going to look a gift horse in the mouth on OGI. So Organigram just got some out at 65. That's a 92 short that we had, a 392, sorry. Check that. But AMC approaching that $10 range. So I just started at 10.25. Going to add to it on the way down. I got back into NIO when it bounced. Failed breakthrough 43. Picked some up at 25. I'm going to be a little more careful, a little more patient, I think, buying into that particular name, and patience with AMC as well, because I like to get a look at that 10 even bid and see how big or not big that bid might be. Just scrolling down, don't see a heck of a lot right now. But if it gets there and there's any kind of a bid, I'm jumping in front of it. Brendo?
Wow, another great fade opportunity here. AVEO, Avio Pharmaceuticals got FDA approval for a kidney cancer treatment, but this move was huge. Aftermarket, this thing was $8 yesterday, got as high as 21 this morning, so back below 16 here. AVEO, guys.
Okay, and we're not going to look too many of these gift horses in the mouth either. So here comes Palantir with a nice win again, guys. Like, we're going to go 2 for 3, and we're 2 for 3 huge for sure. But with Palantir and with Roblox, as Roblox still $3 in the money, we emptied out. We're still a third in of Roblox, but we did empty out a lot of that trade there on Roblox at that high part. I mean, whether or not we go to 79 or not, I don't know, but we're taking that profit, man. Like, all of these bids, we put on the most shares down in here because we brought it back to yesterday, right? And this is what I was talking about. It was this 72 level. We talked about that yesterday, 72, 72.50, 73. Even down here, we had some issues at 74. So we were using that. We could retest back down low. Who knows? But there goes Palantir. Yes, sir. We are flying high today, guys.
Yeah, and speaking of maybe not flying high yet. I mean, GameStop's only down 5%. It hasn't. Look, I'm going to go ahead and cancel this order. I talk about this for breakouts. Once it's traveled like $10, $15 away from that price, I don't want it shooting up in a matter of like 30 seconds to a minute, and then I'm getting the top end of the move on a break. So I will go ahead and cancel that order. It broke 250, so there wasn't any support down there just now, so I didn't buy in front of it. I need to see it hold that before I maybe think about a 55 break. But GameStop is slowing down, and of course, I already got into AMC on the dip at 24. That's a few pennies in the money. I want to add to the position, but I'm being very, very patient with GameStop. NEO is in the money, about 20 cents. I think it can get back to 44, Brendo.
All right, another one from the volume list here. Cloudera, guys, reported aftermarket yesterday. Big move down. Aftermarket trying to hold here, though. This was support in the aftermarket for Cloudera, down 12%.
Okay, I think we're going to get a little bit more. I missed that 45. I was just going to get some more out here on Roblox there at 77.45. I missed the punch. But there's a lot of volume here. So, okay, here we go. It's starting to come downside right now. So Roblox, it does come right back to that high. We tried to get some out there around that 50 mark, like we just said, and then it does fail through. But what's not failing here is Palantir, right back to 26. So really happy with the way that one's marching down here. We did take another buy here on GE. We bought some 25s on the bottom, hopefully there, that can retrace just a little bit back up for us. Thank you if that happens. We would love to see that. There's an out 31, and now it's coming back down. So we're just going to use this bottom as our out, man. A breakthrough 12.20, and we're going to flash out of this one as GE just continues to be a disaster for us today. So watch out for GE. We just took a nice little profit there, but still, I'm holding, and we're going to get out if there's any problems. As I look, my eyes going everywhere here to see if there's any other key levels for GE, and there is not. Roblox, a big miss there. Let's get out another part right here because we should have got some out at 77.40 there.
Yeah, and going to go back to this organogram. It just bounced, and there was a chance here. I could have got like 85s, and I'm sort of noticing this, holding on to the shorts instead of finding places to reload, and then, of course, building long positions. But I should be going both ways, a little bit more balanced. If I do get another retest into like 85, I can add in front of this 90 level. I think it's worth it. This was, these low 80s were support in the pre-market, so the fact that it's turning into slight resistance makes a little bit of sense to me. Have not been able to push through this 365. Bid. And you go back to these little dip buy levels here early in the morning. Of course, sometimes they matter. Seems like here that 65 is a key level. So if I can work this position by getting more short in the 80s, I will go ahead and do that. Going back to that NIO position, I just talked about being patient. So, of course, I'm going to long into it. We're going to lose. We're going to get another dip with a tight stop, and then it hits again. We're out. It never really tested 42.65, so I really haven't had that like real kill spot yet. But as long as we're going to hold 43, I have to play off of this level if I can. But I'm being very, very patient about adding to this dip. Been wicked out once. I want to be able to hold this as long as the market can hold up. Now, if we absolutely flush, which we just started to roll over in the NASDAQ, you got to run for the exit, so hold your shorts and then watch out for those long positions. Brendan.
39, I guess it was, on Blink here. Just got blown out. There was a bit of a seller there. Look at the volume that came in. Blink now, we mentioned at pre-market, guys getting that Ohio State money for some charging stations, guys.
Everyone wants that Ohio State money. Look at this, man. Diamond hands for Palantir, it looks like. Forget about Roblox. Roblox coming back down now. We've emptied out of that one. But look at Palantir. The same thing continues, guys. If you're not flying with me, then maybe you're crash landing, because this Palantir was just a nice little trade as it just goes to the upside right now. We talk about buying dips, and like a glove, right now there's a chicken dinner winner for you tonight, because if you just follow the game plan, man, we talked about taking that early, and we got out a little bit on that move up, and then bang, 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 all these bids, and we just took it out at 20 as we continue the anarchy upside on Palantir. Roblox doing fine still, but still in the money, $1. Really glad we emptied. Like, look at all these empties, guys. Bang, 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 bang. These are for winners here. Roblox, the biggest winner, I think, on the board for either one of us today, as Roblox continues to make marching to the upside. I don't know where the kill spot's going to be for me. I talked about 72. I'm going to do a little more work now that we've actually opened up, and there are some more real levels here, guys.
Back to GameStop, because there's not obvious levels on GameStop given the way that it moves, but it churned through that 250, so there was no hold there. That's why it had to hold that price, but like the long end, of course. Look at this break. I mean, you have basically zero chance. This is through 240 like a couple of seconds ago, and it goes right down to like a 232. Now, on the long break, sometimes you can get it, but wow, that was a crazy short. It's down 10%, but remember, it was already going to be short sell restricted. So knowing that, watch out for 10s on that AMC, because GameStop is starting to floor. I know it had earnings and it's a different play, but you simply cannot ignore that they're going to move at least a little bit in lockstep after what I saw yesterday. Brendo?
Foonware, guys, up on, looks like a partnership agreement here. Digital healthcare partnership with Vizia Technologies for PHUN. That is taking way too long. There it is. I was reading it out of the corner of my eye. Here we go. PHUN up 56%, guys. Just took out day highs there.
Yeah, that's real foon, that stock. Okay, Palantir still moving here. We got to find some more trades here for you guys, though. We talked about Microsoft's through 236. That probably hit and is faded through now. Yeah, so that would have hit there. The 236, you would have had a nice little 50-cent winner, but it's pulled back off this NASDAQ pullback. So we are going to have to wait to see if NASDAQ, if that Microsoft wants to go. What about Square here? I wrote down 236. That level held, so that seemed like a good one as well. But here's the dip buy maybe in Square coming through. Watch out for this 233.60.
Oh, Zila's getting crushed today. I mean, it shouldn't make me happy, but it definitely made me miss the boat on this one. Finally, that stock goes to the downside. I should have had it. There's no question about it. But I want to go to some other high-flying names that are bouncing to the upside to look for potential retracements. Now, if that NASDAQ does roll over, if we do start heading southbound, of course, you can see some names that are going to flush faster than others. I'm looking at Virgin Galactic here through the low of the day. I'm going to play one of these to the short side. I'm going to go 31. It's 31.60 is the current low. It's also pre-market lows as well. So to give some cover to some of these tech names, I want to go short on a 31.60 break. Low of day here on Virgin Galactic. Still, Neil managing to hold at 43. It'll break below. It'll hold the level. And AMC holding up at 10.20. So the fact that GameStop is flushing, AMC hasn't even tested 10 yet. So that's a pretty good sign for them.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, look, we're looking for that AMC long as well at some point, but we got to watch out for GameStop there for sure. Okay, so 25.50 here. Oh, sorry, I was looking at Palantir, wrong stock. Okay, so Palantir there, we just did another buy on that dip down right there, 25.89. We got more. Yeah, we got more long there, 25.89. So now we're gonna wait to see. That was a nice little dip down. What I'm looking to do right here is put some more bids in this area, 25.70. Even, I mean, you know, we'll test it again. A little bit of consolidation there, nice in and out there, back to 98. We'll test it down here a little bit if it can go, but right now the NASDAQ on that dip looks pretty interesting. And new position alert, let's see if this one works. Square, we just get long 23.80 there on that. Like, look at that wick again. Up to there, VWAP thought that was gonna break 234. We're long at a bad spot right now, but the spread is 30 cents. So not much to complain about with Square. You just got to watch out as this one could drop as well if the NASDAQ does, start heading downside. Big spread on Square, guys, 40 cents.
Yeah, and look, speaking of the NASDAQ, it's not as if it's a gigantic fall, but it's off of 13,000, right? So even though you're getting this pushback, it's rejected a key level multiple times. That's wwhy there is some level of concern, and we talked about that bond auction. Actually, the demand was pretty good there. So all systems sort of a go. NEO finally gets, again, it gets back to 43.50. I won't be up on the stock. It's actually, actually not yet. Nope, we just turned green on the stock. So it is, I'm sort of lying to you there. We just got some 43.50s out, so I actually turned green on NEO. But it's all temporary because if we break that low, that will all change. For me, Roblox was the one that stunk. I had my support levels at a couple of them. Both of them broke. For now, though, things looking a little bit more calm, with the exception of GameStop still holding down around that 240. And remember what I said about cost, if GameStop breaks the lows? Cost has already broken the low. So I'm watching this like 25.50 on cost, and if GameStop takes out low of the day and we haven't broken, call it 25 even, because it'll probably go there already. I know it's short sell restricted, but if you can get it, that one could get really ugly really quick. And the flip side is also true. If GameStop bounces to 250 and you can get cost long below 26.20, that's gold.
Big, I don't know who we're going to. I guess Valeria.
Guys, chat talks about rocket companies. RKT is going upside. Do you have any opportunities for yourself in this stock today?
We will look at Rocket in a minute, but look at Square right here, guys. What a big buy that was at the bottom. We're long at 233. Bang, bang. Out. So let's see now if we can go to the high side right now with Square. We'll check out that. We did also get some more Roblox down here at 72.50. That ripped into the money for us a little bit. What's our average price now, Roblox? 72.81. So we're right here on Roblox. Let's see that. I will look at Rocket in a minute. I just have too much risk on to look at it right now. What's up, Beep?
NNDM, guys, another earnings name coming up to a significant level here on the daily chart. That's 1050 right here, right now for NNDM off of earnings.
Oh, we'll definitely do that one. We'll go with the king finally on NEO. So I guess we will end up on the stock, but I did make a keystroke error, guys. I went to put this order 43.70 up at like 44 to cover all my position and accidentally got out. Now look, I'll end up getting out at the top, but trust me, I was intending to hold on to like 10% of the position there, so I would still be in it. If it dips down and gives me like a 43 entry again, I'm going to go ahead and take it because we didn't want to get out of it in the first place. That NNDM, that is a stock. Load up, that we have traded before, but I mean, it's a little bit more organized to the top side here. There is a sort of small level if it ever got to like a 1080, but this isn't one of those like gap up style plays where you have an obvious level on a daily chart you can go into. This is a more stable type of stock. I wouldn't blindly short into this one unless we're talking about $12. So I think there might be something to be said about the fact that we're at yesterday's high at 1050, but I've made this play in the past and gotten burned on this particular name. So, I mean, the 1050 break to the upside might actually even be a little bit better.
Okay, we're just cashing in right now. I mean, besides, we're having a monster day besides our first mess up there on GE, to believe it or not. We'd be at 3 times daily goal if we didn't hit that GE. Instead, we're red because of that GE trade. But 72.50 right there, what a great buy that was on Roblox. We gave you the levels of 72. So yeah, I bought it back and then ding, 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 ding. Let's see how high it goes now. Now there's no worries on Roblox. We've already just destroyed that stock today. So thank God for that. And then Square, back to back, man. Both these trades, Square and Roblox, both $1 in the money. We will look at rocket companies when we get back. What's up, Pete?
Another one from the watch list, guys. VIR Biotech. They teamed up with GlaxoSmithKline to create a treatment for COVID-19, severe cases of COVID-19. They're going to apply for emergency use authorization for that. I had a feeling this was overdone in the pre-market, guys. We're coming back in, 32% still.
And that had a barcode that just sort of screamed an opportunity on it there in the pre-market. But I'm going to hit this one.
Hold it. Malaria.
And what I did not do on Roblox, we did an NIO. I showed you that win there. And of course, AMC, same thing. Now, the difference between trying to buy, the only reason I don't get 10s is remember what was happening in GameStop heading towards that bottom? It stinks. Because I said to myself, I cannot be averaging into AMC when GameStop is heading down, so I don't do it. It's a missed opportunity, but either way, it goes to VWAP. I take the first bit of the position out. I'll take some more out if it breaks 1050 on the way to potentially that high of the day. Now, I know AMC had earnings. It is not. It's a bit of a reopen play as well, so it's not to say that it's going to do whatever GameStop does, but when you saw what happened at 350 on that flush on GameStop, there's no way you're going to ignore it when trading any of these other meme names. I think you sort of do so at your own peril. Price action is price action, and it cannot be avoided.
No, you cannot avoid the action of prices. Okay, 234 to the upside right now. We've already cashed out a square. Big trade, but always wanting bigger, right? So, if the NASDAQ fails, we do have an out of 232 on square if that does happen. But I do want to take another piece out here right at VWAP if we can, 234. So we'll just sit there. Like the spread on this, not going to complain about bad wicks or bad outs or anything like that because the spread here is just pretty nasty still, like 40 cents. And when it opens up, it's even more than that. Let's go Roblox, $1.30 now in the money on this name. So we're making back some money here for Roblox today. And then I was just telling Brendan there that, the worst trade ever was this one. It put me really in the red here to start the day. Fortunately, we averaged in, then once it breaks 50, we get out. Then we take a little piece right here, right now. Well, not right now, but right at this level. And it looks like it still wants to break, man. GE, just what have you done to yourself? You were a high-flying stock. Now, not so much, my friend. Okay, we can't. I'm offering 234 evens, so hopefully we can get filled there. I don't know if I'm just being a little silly. Oh my God, I just got filled. I was gonna say, maybe I'm being silly waiting for that and not giving up the 11 cents and then we get filled. Mr. Wickens.
We talked about those Chinese car sales numbers in the pre-market there, guys. Big move here for XPEV. It's actually XPEV leading. Nice move from 32.5 all the way to 33.80 now, pushing day highs for XPEV.
Oh, come on. Neil's
higher
than that then. Sorry, I see that pushing those day highs, and I think to myself, okay, well, we know who actually has better delivery numbers. I just got back in on the dip, and again, I've started the position at 20 before and gotten some 43.10s and got 43 once. This time, I'll start it around that same price. You can't be too picky, but the second I see that moonshotting, I want at least a little bit of a piece. This NVFY, and again, sometimes these setups are a little bit better. Some are better than others. And when you get these stocks that are up like 200%, you have to have a hard stop there. Now, on Roblox, I probably didn't, right? Because you give it some more room. You should see that work with Sean for sure, buying on that dip. And you can do that in a Roblox. I should have, I did not. And when it comes to shorting the reverse side of a stock that's not liquid, I don't think that's as smart of a play. So, was I willing to maybe get more shares on the way down when it broke 7 even and held 750? Yes, but that's right at 932. So I'm going to miss that opportunity when I'm trading in other names that are faster movers with either larger size or just more risk in general. But if that broke that 750, I am definitely out, never holding one of those. It does give me the push to the low of the day, so yes, you're going to get over $1.50 winner on that particular one, but just understand that if you allow it to go through that 750 stop, it could go $1.50 the other direction, and that's why I'm always willing to make top wick on a short. It hurts more when you make bottom wick on a long position than the other way around because you have to accept making top wick if you're going to be a short seller.
Okay, yeah, and that's what happened to me on GE. Basically, obviously, I hit that top wick and then lost more money than you guys want to imagine on that trade. But we're 3 for 3 everywhere else, man. I mean, Square and Palantir, we've made back. Look, we're still fine, but we've made back some of that money here. Thank God we go 3 for 3 and 3 for 3 big time here, including, okay, there goes General Electric. So adios, you POS. It's gone now, breaking back down through this level. I'm done with GE for a bit. We'll see what happens afterwards on GE. Let's just stick with what we do best. I love GE. I mean, it made a hell of a lot of money in our personal account on this name, but yeah, not today, not now. Okay, Roblox, I do have an offer, 75. I think we can get back to VWAP. So if that does happen to Roblox, then we'll giddy up on that one. See if we can get a 75 print on Roblox. That's what we're waiting for. And then Square right now, still 80 cents in the money, but bouncing around, having a hard time staying up, especially with NASDAQ doing its little dance right here. But 3 positions and all 3 winners, Roblox, Square, and Palantir. Brendan, give us the update, bud.
Sorry.
Hey guys, yeah, real quick look at North American markets here. We'll see nicely positive once again today, right across the board. Again today, it is the NASDAQ leading. So 1.4, 1.5, depending on whether you're looking at the 100 or the composite there. But tech stocks back to the upside. Good to see for the overall market. The Dow still 0.6%, the S&P 0.8%. That means, yeah, more all-time highs for the Dow today. The Russell 0.9%. Small caps having a nice day here in Toronto. TSX about 0.8% to the upside. Couple of things to watch for the watch list. Guys, we'll shift over here if we can. There we go. Apple, we had the entire tech group on watch today, but look at Apple kind of fading this move. Touched 123 up here at the top end. We're back down basically at day lows for Apple. Shift over one more time and we'll have a look at Facebook though. Yeah, tale of two stories here. Different looking chart completely. 273. Very, very strong, guys, for FB. Back to you.
Yeah, okay, GameStop. I mean, at least, I don't know, AMC, it didn't get those at 10, got 10.22 here. It's up at 10.50, but I actually got to go ahead and see if I can't take that off. It's going to give me a 20-cent scalp here on GameStop, sorry, on an AMC. When I see GameStop do this, moon into that 265, and remember when I said I canceled my stop on a 265 break if it's just sitting down here, I don't want it going too far too fast? That hit 64.98. So there's one small print above 65. I'm long and smoked for a $5 loss. That's why I always take those out until we get consolidation off the top. Now, if we can hold this top here in GameStop, consolidate at least a little bit, and then push through 265, I'm all over it. If we get a dip down into VWAP here, I'd reload an AMC as well, but that was one heck of a move on volume off of that bottom. So GameStop still very, very much in play and showing all kinds of strength. 6 million shares done, guys, still, at an average price of like $250. You just keep in mind what that thinks and how the algos are playing with this. That's why I'm very careful about how I like to take these breakouts. And of course, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I'm going to miss this because I barely even noticed that GameStop made that gigantic move. And if you do a side shot, Rob, you can show why. Look at the scaling. I was looking at that move to the downside, and so the scaling on my GameStop chart is all messed up. I was looking at 2 days worth of action, so that big move up seemed like absolutely nothing out of the corner of my eye. Always make sure your setup is how you want it. I did not adjust that, so it seemed like a small move. It was a gigantic one, so I missed that cost long. I hope you guys got it, or somebody got that 76.20, or that was 26.20. That was free money, guys, free money.
Look at Square, guys, $1.12 now in the money. We just went up to, I mean, the NASDAQ's starting to go, so I like this Square position. I'm debating adding to it right now. It's a big runner, but it's not moving. It's what we call, again, like this is barcoding, right? I mean, this is consolidation. We talked about that yesterday, and again, shout out to our viewer that brought that up to my attention. Anyways, I love what that call there. Maybe we can get that. I think maybe we can have a barcode thing. That's an easy graphic for Mr. Robbie Rob.
He can handle that
down there. We can definitely get that. VWAP right there, 233.90 on this name, just bouncing around. So we're not going to use Square for VWAP. I'm not going to do anything right now with Square and VWAP because it doesn't really make too much sense. Palantir, we did buy some more downside in the 90s. We talked about buying low dips on Palantir to enjoy some kind of move back to the upside. So we're liking that name right now. We're liking Boeing right now. Wow, Boeing up to 255. Man, we're ringing the register on that one. Hopefully you guys got lit up with me on that as well because Boeing, what a big win there. We're long at 212, man. 255 on BA. What up, B?
Yeah, better part of the entire Dow move right now coming from that one. Wish, guys. Wish reported. Context Logic is the actual name of the company. A lot of people buying cheap stuff on that Wish app, apparently, because earnings were better than expected. Volume huge today on this. Back to $18 for Wish, guys.
Really, that stock is bane of my. I don't know. I'm not one that's a huge lover of that name, but a new position alert here, and not going to love the way this one came in because we're testing 13,000 again here, guys. And of course, we talk about those breaks on GameStop. It's not easy to catch them, but 65 all the way to 70. I wish I'd hear cheering in the back because then I'd feel like maybe we got it. But if we're going to test through that top, I have to have a very tight stop on this Virgin Galactic trade. Didn't want something to the short side. I got a little bit left of that NEO, which is pushing now 50 pennies in the money. I'll try to take a buck on it if it goes, but I can't let this go past like a 3180 if we're breaking through, and we just broke through 13,000. So I don't want the market reversing hard on me and breaking out, and then I got the bottom on Virgin Galactic, so it has to be a tight stop here. If it was the other way, I think we'd be getting our 31 target, 31.25, but I'm not sure that's going to happen here. 275 breakup coming here on GameStop as well.
Okay, there you go. Did we? Yeah, we just got that. So bang, a nice little out there on Roblox. We'll take that. I'll cancel my 73.81s. We would have got it anyways. We just got. Oh, that's this is the minute chart. Doesn't show me getting out, but we did. I'll have to refresh that. Okay, now Roblox going up to 74. So we'll get out another piece right now, I think, as well. Roblox, $1.50 in the money on Roblox right now. $1.50 in the money on Square right now, and then 10 cents. You know what, guys? I think Palantir's done. I don't know why it's not moving. It should have gone on that move right there. We've loaded up, and it's been a monster trade for us on Palantir. So we give daps to everybody out there because I know you guys are on this as well. And Palantir just ding, 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 ding. So we're going to go 3 for 3, and they're all huge stocks for me today. Palantir, Square. Like Square's $1.70 now in the money, making highs right now. Hopefully we can get to 236. I may take a piece out here, 235.50 on Square, but everything else moving, man. Roblox up to that I faded off 35 there, damn it, or 74. We should have got out there a little bit. Let's take another piece off on Roblox and then see if it takes 74.
Yeah, and Neo just chewed through that 44 level, and there was a bit of a seller there. Not a gigantic one, but it got eaten alive, and now there's nothing remaining. I'm holding through, and I'll show you on the chart here. I'm holding through for a potential break, sorry, a re-break of that pre-market high. We did have some chop in that on the way back in, around that 44, 25 to 30 area. I think if we can get there, I like it. If we reverse all the way back into VWAP, I'd look for a little bit of a dip buy at 42.50 on NIO. I did mention I thought Virgin Galactic would get out and that be a stinker, so I will go with that one for you. 13,000 was testing when you get the low of the day on a short trade. That's why the tight stop. You got to adjust there. Whoops, meant to go to KOSS here. Cost. We talked about that little breakout when GameStop went. If GameStop GameStop just held a 275 break, which is kind of like a sucker's breakout, goes like $1 and comes back in. If this retraces hard, look for cost to test that low of the day. If you miss a trade on GameStop, sometimes you can jump over to cost and maybe catch it.
AMC trying to do the same thing there, trying to break higher. What is that level? 1065. Hold on a second. Let's just go back to AMC right here. Okay, so a beautiful, I mean, a $2 win right there on Square. So hallelujah on that one. And then same thing for Roblox. We did get our price there. So some nice outs there. We're still holding. You can see the positions we got on right now. 10 cents on Palantir. $1.70 now on Square. Yeah, buddy. And a nice little $1.20 on Roblox. Okay, AMC, I was looking at this level here. I know this is a name, obviously Neil's talked about GameStop. This is a name that you guys want to trade to as well, probably. How about a 1065 break to see if we go to 1085? So let's take that 1065 break on AMC with a chance to go, obviously, off earnings. We're not playing this anything to do with earnings, but we'll play it through 1065 AMC. We like that. We have VWAP down here at 1041. I mean, hey, if it goes, it goes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I mean, it's just really that simple. 1065 here on AMC. Let's take a shot off that long. But there is a possible long right now, actually, at AMC as well, using 1048, maybe 1050 as you're out. So you could load up right now and then pull it back to this. But let's wait to see if we get a breakout here at 1065.
We're going to go with this particular graphic, and it's been a frustrating one here for NIO, but you do actually get the bottom a couple of times. And look, I was trying to get 44.25, I was just mentioning that, but I get an even break, and we talked about that 44 even. It goes up, and that same thing that leads me into some short positions where you don't have the bid trailing up and you snap back down. So anyone that went long 01s, 02s is suddenly staring at like, oh, it's not going, where's the momentum type of panic. I like to get out. If I'm long, if I'm not shorting it, but I would be considered shorting off a move like that on a setup, then it makes sense to take profit on the long. So the last entry point we did get in here on this consolidation at 30, so that'll end up being a 70-cent win. For now, we're going to be flat on the NIO. I don't think it's going to be done by any stretch of the imagination. And this is going to work well for you if you actually got that AMC there, Sean. But GameStop, again, just broke through the highs. Watch for a 280 break. Hopefully I get this one. Brendan?
I mentioned this one earlier, guys. Cloudera, downside again, just touched day lows. It was actually day lows since the opening there. So another volume spike there on Cloudera. Now 13% off earnings, guys.
Okay. Yeah. We're just long right here. I mean, we're not really doing anything on AMC. We're just long right here at 1050. We'll see where it goes. I don't know. We do have a stop order though lower, just in case it does fall down through this level. We'll get out of AMC through a 10. Yeah, right now. So through 1044, 1045. We're just taking it through 1050 here, just to see what it does. In case we did get, and it doesn't look like it wants to go. In case it wants to do something, and right now AMC just looks like it wants to go to the downside. So we'll have to massage this trade a little bit. Roblox, Square, and Palantir still bouncing around with the NASDAQ really doing the same thing and not doing much. So here we go. We're long at 1050, 1051 on AMC. Who knows where this thing's going to go?
Sorry, right as, I mean, look, timing is going to matter here sometimes, and literally exactly when Valerie was getting me a coffee, GameStop came in. And I always try to take that initial, this is Cloudera here for you guys, I always try to take that initial push and then immediately get out. Now what's going to end up happening is it gave you like that quick little dollar because I do miss it the first time. I end up taking 2/3 out here, basically flat, because I missed my first shot here. And if it wants to make a hard reversal on me, like if this isn't going right away, yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and see if we can't get out of it at like 277. That seems like a more reasonable thing. And if I was holding the entire position and not just the final third, I probably would have gotten it all out at 79 there. But I wanted to give it a shot to reverse. Just to give you an idea of the thought process, when you're taking that breakout trade and it goes through 80s, and I get that like 280.20, 280.31, a price like that, 280.01 if you can get it. I want to be out almost wherever it stops. If it's at 82, 83, I'm taking that $2 or $3. So if it does reverse immediately, like I said, if it was the entire position, I'm getting out before it breaks $1. Now, because I was able to get out flat for 2/3 of the position very, very quickly there, that's why I was willing to give a little bit more room to that final third of the GameStop position, but never looking to hold this too long. If you get a good dip buy off support, it's a lot different from buying a breakout at the high of the day, especially on a stock like GameStop, because when it reverses, I mean, you saw what happened in the afternoon yesterday. You never want to be a part of that. Brendo.
Just looking at Liz High Technologies. This was a earnings name from yesterday. Big pop on positive results for them. 880 up here. Top end of the range was that resistance point from yesterday. Just had a volume alert there for LIZI, guys.
LIZI, yeah. You gave us that yesterday as well. It's kind of embarrassing. We never trade that, Lizzie, and there's always news on it. What about Super League Gaming here today? Up and if. Come on, Slug. Let's go, chart. Up an impressive 40% or so, 33% to the high side there. And we do touch out at 760. What a move off of 6 bottom there. Obviously, probably a big short interest in this one as well. Watch out for another 750 break. I think we'll try it and see if we can't get slugged through 750. Some consolidation there. And then let's just see what we can do. But 750 break looks pretty good here on Slug.
Yeah, that's definitely one to watch. I'm fine myself with just this organogram. And look, if that's a hard turn on GameStop, I might take my first short if it breaks 65. But I want to go back to that OGI. We did talk about that in the pre-market cannabis space on the move. This has basically been like it's a one-time shot through that 395 and still not giving anything below this 365. However, the longer it holds the 65 level, the same thing that makes sense to me here to break a 95 short, I might do the same thing at a 365. The only difference is 350 does loom for you there, so you probably have to scalp that for like 5 to 10 cents into that range. To come back over to NIO, like I said, took it off at the top. There was one little dip into 43.50. One more time here, sort of testing VWAP, but it sort of slammed down, barely printed anything, didn't actually give you consolidation. I wanted to consolidate off VWAP before I take a long down at that 43.50 price area on NIO, but looking to buy that dip. And if we break 65s, I'll actually try the short on GameStop. Brendo?
Yeah, I just wanted to mention that headline there for Super League Gaming, guys. They're picking up a live streaming firm called Mob Crush. So all stock deal, 12.6 million shares in consideration, about 70 million in stock. Super League buying Mob Crush, guys.
We like it, and we like it a lot because right now, let's go, man. Big caps, small caps, whatever cap you want. Here we go on Super League Gaming. A nice little trade, man. What a great long that was through 50. We just touched out at 90 there as well. So we're holding very, very small. But yes, sir, the cash coming in right now on SLGG. I mean, I had that move even there before Brendan mentioned that. We didn't know the news, but when I recognize the name. We've talked about this before. We've seen this go hard before. So let's just wait to see. I'm going to give it back to 750. We're almost out, guys. I mean, we're almost out of everything on here because, again, I don't trust some of these names that go parabolic like this. We put the money in our pocket, but still a nice win here. Still 19, 20, 30 cents in the money on SLGG. Square days high. Come on, Square. Looks to be making days high right now. Was breaking through 235. So let's see if that can go on the NASDAQ. Little bump up. So right now, Super League Gaming back through $8. Hells to the yeah for you, SLGG. Your boys got it. Let's keep on Rip City here, SLGG, and screw you, GE.
Yeah, I mean, I'll second that one on GE, but Roblox, we have to watch this 72 because remember we said look, it's an IPO or a direct listing. It's a day two
hell
trading.
yeah.
Remember this top. This was 72 in the afternoon, and then of course the closing price 69.50, that 70 area. Those are the two levels to watch. So if it can hold this, and now remember every time it's held a level, it's really broken it by like 20, 30 cents, 50 cents, and then sort of come back. So I think I have to allow it to test for real, maybe even bust through that 72 before I like it. Still watching that GameStop. I will have it if it goes, well, I'll be trying to get it if it goes through that 65 to the short side. But now Roblox all over the radar because I got to wait for the levels I like, 72 and then 70. Sorry, well, 69 to 70 really. But 72 is the first one. It tried to bounce just now. I really think it needs to test it and maybe even break that level before it's an all systems go type trade. Going back over to NEO. Still basing out, got to zoom back in so you guys can see. Still basing out above VWAP, but not a ton of consolidation. Still in that pullback. And the market is range bound on the session. So don't want to be over trading in these ranges. I want to break out to these ranges. I want to see if you can get a stronger consolidation when the market's not going anywhere. I'd like that a heck of a lot better on NIO. And the same thing goes with AMC. If we're dipping down to 10, I'd take it. If we're breaking 11, I'd take it right here, right now, at 1040 to 1050. Unless you're scalping in that range, which I guess you could do. No mas for me. And of course, OGI hangs in the money. Not much to do till it breaks that 65, guys.
Guys, Palantir right up to 26.20 right now. Neil said money, and there it is. One and out on Palantir, 30 cents. Now we're almost out of that. SLGG, 70 cents up, Brenda. We'll go to you in a second. And then Roblox still hovering around. We're still long at 72.50. Not much happening. And then we still have a little baby AMC waiting to see what happens here. What up, B?
Another EV maker making moves again today. Mentioned this one yesterday as well. Go EV. Yeah, wow. Going right now. $14 just broken there on a huge volume spike. 3 days in a row to the upside for Go EV, guys.
All right, Go EV. Okay, so AMC just barcoding right now, doing nothing, sitting around, so we'll have to wait on that one. AMC, Palantir going to the upside as well. Tilray, we looked at that earlier. Square turns around. Like as if, man, Square was cruising to the high side there before the NASDAQ decided to do a dance. Remember, we have options expiration tomorrow, even though it's middle of the month. It's just one of those things where there's a lot of people right now playing the volatility. So, you know, you're probably going to get a volatile day today, obviously, with up 1.7%. And then you also get tomorrow's action. That could be crazy as well tomorrow. I don't know if there's any economic numbers coming, but I'm just really excited. Man, we're having a monster day. If I could just like erase that GE mistake that I made there when I put that order in pre-market. I should never, ever put in a max share position basically in the pre-market, and that's really stupid. So we talked about doing that, and what a mistake that was. So, but this was a great little pickup there on Square. So Brendo again, he's coming with the fire. What up, bud?
All right, patience was the key yesterday, but here we go. Already, guys, 45 to 50 indication on Coupang after the 35 pricing aftermarket yesterday.
That's at least a little bit of something there. Actually, you know, just as cost is about to test this at 27 there, just noting that I need to get some shortable shares, which are paying 5 cents a share. Yeah, I'll gladly pay that for the opportunity to be able to go short here. I missed, in GameStop, every single break has been a perilous one. It's like you try to get in, but if you're willing to cross $1, maybe even more, you can catch it, but that's too much for me on a breakout style trade. I'd rather miss the price than get a price that I don't want. Now, cost is sort of a similar thing when it just broke this 27. If GameStop pops back towards those highs, which, you know what, cancel that order because it looks like it just popped through 270. That's exactly what I go ahead and do. So you saw me willing to short off this 27. You saw that live order in there, and then I saw GameStop popping back above 270. Go ahead and cancel it. I don't want the fill in that regard, so I am watching both of these names simultaneously to ensure that I don't get caught in a disgusting move, because that's exactly what can happen to you guys in one of those names. Just to come back to NVFY. One of the reasons I like to target that, these prices here, and again, you have the low of the day in the pre-market afternoon when this moonshotted from like 220 to $5, almost over a double up. It stalled at 525, 528. So on the way back down, that's where the out's going to be. You're going to see it bounce off this level. You don't make these up high in the sky. Go to the higher time frame. Have an idea where these things might turn. If we're going to hold this level, great. Maybe you catch like a $6 break and you can get like a scalp into like 650 or into VWAP. Otherwise, if this goes through 525, I'm going to be shorting through the bottom on this name. The only way I shorted it was once into this flush level at 720 when it rebounded. Of course, you could have just taken it the first time and made like 50 pennies that way. I'm looking to see if I can get a 525 break and then head down towards this, like, got to break 5 first, of course, but gives you another $1 to that aftermarket level at 425.
I was thinking about this 825 level or so on slug here, so we'll put an order out to get that if we can get it. I just wonder if that's a little bit of the high. I don't mind taking it through 840 if that goes, but we are going to get out back down. If we're not going to, like we always say, not going to turn this. You know what? Forget this. I'm going to cancel everything. Let's just see how high it goes. We did have slug the other day. I was just looking at the high. That's why I was debating getting some out, and not because this 950, but that was just like one wick up there, and I didn't want the same thing to happen right here at 850. So we may get another piece out at 840. I think that makes sense to do that. I mean, look where we're long. We're long at 750. So if we can get out here like in the 830s, we'll do that and we'll take that trade. But other than that, man, we're going to wait to give it all the way back to the downside again. So Square, missed opportunity. We could have cashed out a little bit more on the upside, but right now it is fading back in right to where we got in. So Square, a big trade for me today. You can see it on the bottom. It's a monster. Everything's been working for me besides GE today. So we'll wait for Square though, as it's falling down and falling down pretty hard. I did like GME through the top. So just to give you guys an idea, if we do break through 280, I mean, I guess the high really is. Oh, the high is 281 exactly.
It broke 281.
Yeah, so I mean, if it goes through 281, then maybe you get another run today in these stocks. So I think that's probably worth a small shot on that. And then you pull back into these levels, 268. You probably got to give it like $10 maybe to the downside. But you can also maybe drop it off at 276. 275 or something like that if it does come back in for you and you miss on it. Palantir, we're loading back up here. Brendan's at the big screen. We're going to throw to that in a minute. Palantir right now back to the bottom. So we will take another shot long here on Palantir through the bottom. And our Square just triggered out on the downside on a 232 break. So now we're flat on Square, so that's fine. A big win for us today, so we'll backflip it, but not a maximum win because realistically we should have took it out at that 234 again. We miss it, and look, I'm going to get bottom wick again. How cool. Brendan, give it to us, buddy.
Hey guys, yeah, let's go to small cap world. We'll have a look at a few we were talking about in the pre-market. Start with this one, NVFY. This is actually a nano cap, micro cap company, very, very small. 650 was obvious support here going into the open. I hate trading these companies because they can squeeze on you and just go absolutely crazy. So my plan was through 650, downside, quick scalp, and out, and that's what I did. Haven't touched it since. SIEB, 680, 750. Two levels from both aftermarket yesterday and the pre-market I was looking at. So we clearly held below that 680 level. Give you a really nice move down to 540. It's trying to break day lows right now. 540 on SIEB. OGI. Yeah, British American Tobacco, 20% stake in this one. $4 was a big level in the pre-market here. Obvious break to the downside here, still pushing lows. I've tried this a few times. There's been buyers though, 60 to 70 cents down here picking this up. It looks like we're trying to break day lows here on OGI, guys. Back over to you.
Speaking of trying to break day lows,
yeah, the market's
the market's flushing to the downside now. Of course, you had that low on a NIO here, NIO, at 42.80, and I'm going to give it one shot in front here. If it can hold that 42.80, I just went long at the O2s. I broke 43, came back up, so I went long at O2s, and I'll give it only to that 42.80. If it makes a fresh low, I'm going to be out of NIO. And again, it's like, if I was a little bit more patient and just picked that one spot, I would have done a heck of a lot better. Now I'm up on NIO because it eventually made that pop, and I was able to even buy a little bit of a dip here as well. So these last two longs are going to make up for the blunder off of the open, and that's getting in too early. I was talking about 42.65 as support, and then I started along $1 above it instead of like 40-50 cents above it. So that's easy to sort of analyze there. Here I'm only risking the 20 cents, but also, sorry, I got to go to GameStop here. It's attempting to push through. It just pushed through 265 and I'm attempting to break VWAP here. Look, we've seen what happens on a hard reversal. Remember we talk about those failed long breaks can be a heck of a short opportunities. Yeah, if I hang on to that long, I mean, my day is pretty much done at this point on GameStop, or maybe just done in general. That's why those breakouts in and out very, very quickly. If I can catch a 255, this might find some momentum to the downside. So watch out also for any AMC positions. I'm not watching it currently, but if it breaks that 10, if it hasn't already. No, it hasn't already. So if it tests that 10 even and GameStop has held the low, then I would go long on AMC.
Okay, so we're starting to run things again here. We picked up a nice little long there on AMD, sorry, this is. Again, like my screen is on Palantir, but my stock here is on AMD. So Palantir, a nice little long. Let's see if we can. There it is. Some longs in here. We're trying to get longer at 61. Now we're back busting out to the upside. I got out of a little bit of those longs. Remember, it was an average price. So we got out a little bit just to make sure that we protect some of these profits. And then now you can see where we're long right now, 25.78. So Palantir continues to win for us. And then this is the stock that I wanted to talk a little bit about. AMD, we took a long there, 79.93 on a dip down, up that 3%. And again, I just put this in my account the other day on some NASDAQ dips. So nicely recovered backside on AMD. You know, just like the management team, like what they're doing. They're going to close that Xilinx deal as well, and just get more involved with the semis. So AMD to the upside right now. We'll take some more off, but a nice little 7-cent win now on AMD. It was 17 just a second ago, and then Palantir up 20 cents from our last in there. So an update on SLGG. You know, we stay disciplined, man. It comes back in. We get right out at VWAP. So another money win there for SLGG. Look, you can hold forever, or you can take your profits. And we talked about that 840. Should have took one more there, but we didn't. And then we lose on our last 10% on our 20%, sorry, on the downside there.
I don't know if we're going to be going to Brendan, but adjusting the bottom on GameStop there was 257, so I will adjust my order accordingly. I got the rest of my NEO position. As it consolidates off of that 43 even, average price actually works out to, and again, it's last entry after, so I did get 02s the first time, and I just got 98, so you'll see my price shift to 98, but my average price was evens on that particular trade. I'll take some out, and I just actually did, got some at 13, I'll take more in the 20s, and of course some in front of VWAP. It's a double test. I don't always like these, look, it's the second time it's testing this level. So I don't anticipate it's going to be as good as the first, especially with the market rolling over. So I'll probably have the bulk of this off if it even gives me a shot at VWAP, and there's no way I'm holding through that low of the day break. Got to go over to that OGI. I said not much to do with this until it finally tries to break that 365. I was short at 95. Now I'm short off that 365. I have a few shares left from that 95 short, so that's why my average price will be 72s. But really, these are almost like two positions here. Brenda, what you got, bud?
Finvolution. We've mentioned this one before, just popping up here after earnings. So Chinese-based fintech here for Finvolution, testing pre-market highs here, 22%, guys.
Nice job, Finvolution. Yeah, we'll look at that. Nice little win there on AMD as we take it again. So we're firing off the hot dog cannon, man. It's been a big day for me. It's, you know, we just talked about that one trade off the open. Everything else has been cash, man. You can see the damage we've done on Square. Obviously, like, you know, we talk about, this happens to me 4 or 5 times a show where I get, you know, the worst wicks out. So that was a bad one there, 31.82 on a 32 break. But again, on Square, it's kind of misleading because you do have quite a big spread, right? So really, it was just a 32 break down and got us out at 31.85 there. So, but whatever. I mean, I was trying to get 32, so really 15 cents out, and then just a rip straight up. But that's fine. We went back to the well and we picked up some Palantir, which we love. So a nice little win there for Palantir. So we'll bang that one out. Yeah, smash the like button, guys. And speak about the like button, like what's going on today, guys? 9,000 watching and only 1.9K likes. If you can, just turn that not upside down, turn that blue if you can, if you're watching, if you're on mobile. I don't know how that works, but definitely watch that. And then please share it as well if you have any opportunity to do that, if you have any friends that are maybe traders as well. You know, we're trading live. We're giving you hopefully some good ideas and talking about all the names that are rocking and rolling, including a 23-cent win right now. As we just continue to slay Palantir, like I really should just trade Palantir every day because that's the money shot. And then Roblox up a little bit today as well off that break. But maybe we got to start getting some longs now in Roblox as it just touches that 70, which was a good spot yesterday.
Maybe we'll go old school to get those likes, guys, because why not? Winner, chicken dinner. I almost never hit this one. I don't know why. Because it's been upgraded. It's a little, and it's loud there, Rob, at the end. But Neo, and like you said with Palantir, Sean, I mean, it took me a while to sort of calm down and sort of say to myself, why am I bungling this trade up? It's for now going to be my top stock, NIO, but it could have been a heck of a lot better. Like I said, if this dip by, I always patiently wait for a certain price and then don't chase it. And of course, I did at that 43.50, and that's the entire reason I'm not up like twice as much, because then I had to take it off down here. And like I said, I will take most of this retrace at 43 out in front of VWAP simply because it's the second time we're testing. We're very range bound in the market because if we're not breaking through the top, we're going to sit in a tight range. I'm going to take advantage of that by using my support level to get in, get out in front of VWAP. I just scalped off like a 35-cent win there. Still holding 40% of the position, which is fine. But if it broke 50, I'd only have, maybe like, actually probably less than 20%. I think I'd take more off. The only thing that isn't working, and again, this is going to look fantastic on the chart, but keep in mind, I added through the bottom on OGI when it broke 65, right? So it'll show me in the money, but overall, ignore that. The price I had at 982, that's a pie in the sky. Forget about it. That's an old trade. Because I had some of it left, that's fine. Right now, that 65 entry is out of the money. If it retraces to 75, I got to make sure I cover it. It'll seem like a 3-cent loss based on the average price you see here, but to me, that's losing 10 cents on that re-entry price, guys. So keep that in mind. I do think we can get to 350. Organogram has been coming in the whole time, and if the market fails, I do like it. I can tell you that once again, and this is going to be the way that things work around here, GameStop, and I had just finally said to myself, hey, I'm willing to take a short if this thing breaks 257. And of course, it finds another little temporary bottom. The fact that it cannot get, or for now has not gone back through this like 268, 270 area, leans me to still taking that breakdown. If it takes out this level and tests towards the high, I will cancel my stop break. I don't want to have a breakout or breakdown trade when it's 10% away from that price. I don't want it screaming into it, and then I get the worst wick ever. Brendan?
ENTX, guys. This is Entera Bio. Looks like they got FDA, or no, it's just positive data for an osteoporosis treatment. So ENTX. Big mover on volume today. Yeah, 285% on the day, guys.
Oh man, I mean, some of these names are going nuts. Okay, Palantir out more there, and then we're dipping in more to AMD here. Let's just see what we can do for this one. Our average price right now is 86. It's at 85. I think we can retrace back to 80. Why not? Why not to 80.10? This is where we dumped them all. We noticed that there was obviously some kind of a resistance spot there at the top, 80.10 or so. If we break above VWAP, we definitely want to make sure we have some on board. So we're trying to let AMD run for us a little bit here, as well as Palantir. And then I'm just holding on to AMC. I know I'm still long. It shows 1050, but I'm just holding this in case we get some sort of an action here. And we'll get out if it breaks, too much lower than this. I'm not just going to hold it just to watch it. So that's a good mover to the upside. Brendan, again, what up, bud?
Man, day's flying by, guys. We have lots to get to still. If you are just joining us, we have a great guest coming up a little bit later on this morning. Yeah, Game Square, not GameStop, Game Square. Justin Kenna, CEO, going to stop by, talk about some esports action, guys. Game Square coming up at 11:15. It is 10:30 right now. That means Europe is almost closed. There's 1 hour left in the session over in Europe. What's up, V?
Hey, Brandon, European markets are mixed. Technology, mining, and retail sectors are top gainers, while banks fell the most, with UK's HSBC down 4.6%. Back to you.
Yeah, tech stocks leading, banks coming off a little, guys.
Yeah, and look, I mean, it's still a range-bound market, which is interesting because you see so many of these big movers. And of course, Brendan just brought you that ENTX, which I went back in the daily chart. I couldn't find anything close to where it's trading. So I immediately said to myself, okay, well, what's happening in NEO? Oh, yeah, it's giving me 43s again. Thank you very much, NIO. So we talked about why I wanted to rinse and repeat, and it's because of this. We're bouncing off this level. We're getting to VWAP. It's not sustaining. The market is basically range bound. So as usual, I'm going to scalp down into this range over and over again. Now, here's the thing. If you're doing this 1, 2, 3 times, I do anticipate that if the market rolls over, my last long in NEO was going to be a losing trade, but that's okay as long as you were taking profit the entire way, and each time making, starting at 10 cents, 15, and then all the way to 30. This time we're getting 20s to 30s. Then when eventually you lose 20 pennies on the position, it's fine. You're going to be overall a winning trade for you there. So you have to make sure the risk to reward is a good one. In this particular case, it is. That ENTX, like I said, nothing I could find on the daily chart. Maybe have to go a little bit farther back, but currently a 626 top. The volume is good. It's not even really parabolic yet intraday, but it is up 300%. So obviously in a higher time frame, that's clearly parabolic, but there hasn't been that screw you candle, I'll try to say. I mean, this one was like a buck, but it hasn't really destroyed any shorts just yet. That might be the case if it can break this consolidation to the upside here. Although it did take the 25, I'd probably look for like a cleaner breakthrough, maybe like a 650, because that 25 did go by a penny and then slam back down. So it's range bound here. Got to go to like 650 before you know.
We're just emptying out shares here on AMD. It goes up again to $80. Look at our longs, 80s here. We're emptying it out. It doesn't want to go up high. It's still up 3%. If it breaks, I think it'll go, but it needs to clear this little area of resistance, I guess. I don't know why it keeps bouncing off this VWAP. I mean, bounced here, had a problem at the same level before, breaking and then going up 70 cents or 80 cents. And then it's having the same situation right now again. So we're picking these bottoms and we're getting out, but it's nothing too sexy. Like these are like 15, 20 cent wins here. And, you know, if I lose, it'll be bigger because we're going to get out if it breaks back down below 79.50 there. So being very, very cautious. We're going to take a little bit more shares down here in and around this area just to see if this is something on a NASDAQ rebound back to the upside. I cannot believe this square trade bang. Thank God it was only on the last 10% because I would have just gone nuts if it was anything more than that. And then Palantir right here as well today, it's having the same sort of an issue. So we're just going to keep rinsing it out. I mean, we get long down here. What a great long that was. That's where we're long right now, 78, up and away. These outs right here were to protect this, which we didn't really need to do. I had more orders down here thinking that this would run into the orders and I'd get long and then we could celebrate, but we did give up some profit on the upside there. But basically, you know, we're up on everything today. AMD, Palantir, Roblox, Slug, which is the online gaming. We talked about that with our big guest coming through. And then Square as well. So we're up on everything except for GE. I'm going to actually check back in on GE. Okay, so the same thing happening again. It goes all the way down to 12. Like that was the problem there. Hit right as we opened. Normally I don't have those orders out, but I did. So my bad, you know, take responsibility for that and just learn from it. So that was my bad there. You know, I will try to seek some revenge on GE, but I don't know. It probably won't be to the long side. If anything, maybe we fade a short at this VWAP there, as I have no idea what they're doing. And there goes Palantir. It hasn't really been a roller coaster for Palantir today, even though it looks like it. These are all very controlled. This isn't in, this isn't in, these are outs, this isn't in, and these are outs, these are all ins. So, I mean, it's a very, very controlled trade for me here today on Palantir, and why the hell not? It's a monster stock for me.
Yeah, and this is why you guys should like it. You got to stick to what's actually working for you. You can see, like, Roblox didn't work for me. I got away from that one. GameStop, I've gotten patient. It was the one breakout through the high of the day, which was just an ugly one there, that through that top. And I like that short still through 57. But NEO's again testing VWAP. And the last time we had this long, it stalled out here shy of 43.50. Like I said, if it broke here, I'd only have 20% of the position. That's exactly true. That was true the first time. It's going to be true the second time here. If we get a push up, now, you know, keep in mind, I got 44s out as top wick. That wasn't even my target. It was more the price action through that 44 break that led me to believe it was a failed breakout, where I would have been thinking short normally because I was long. It meant cover my position. So if we go back to 44, I'm very likely to take profit in particular on NIO. Just coming right all the way back, if I can, to Virgin Galactic. I want to remind you guys here, when I have a bottom break trade, and again, a lot of times a trade like this, if I believe in it, I'll give it to like 32s. But keep in mind, we're testing the high, and we've been sitting in a range on the NASDAQ the entire morning. And there's just no way that I want the momentum to be breaking to the upside and holding that 13,000. And then I'm just sitting there taking extra loss in Virgin Galactic. Now, it ends up that we stay range bound, and this would have smashed me and absolutely crushed me. That's without pushing through fresh highs. So imagine what would have happened here if the market had pushed to fresh highs, and I'm sitting here just averaging in or holding into Virgin Galactic. So this is what you try to do here. You take these little like paper cut styles trades, don't dig into it too much. Find the stocks that you are getting a good read on, and then trade those a little bit more actively. I have to come back to this name because it was the bane of my existence yesterday, and it's actually looking like it wants to make a secondary push here. The volume was pretty low on Zila, but the fact that it didn't crater through 350 is interesting to me. I actually thought it had a chance to do just that. If it gets anywhere close to this 4 range and tries to roll over, I want to take a shot at it, but the volume, while good at 6 million, a lot of that happened in the first half hour. So it really, really is slowing down, guys. And I want to sort of remind everybody about this because, you know, one of the things that we try to do for you guys, we do it like live right after the show, is trade reviews. Now, obviously, you've seen Sean trade Palantir today. Well, you've seen him trade it every single day, guys. But it's all about the thought process. The live show goes really, really fast. So we had this idea that we do a review of trades, one trade every day. It doesn't have to be the best trade. Sometimes it is. Most of the times it probably is. But it's more about the thought process that goes behind it, the execution, what we're thinking going into it, why was it in play, all of that. You get it all live right after the end of the show, guys. And we're doing that almost every single day for you when we get the chance, except for when we give you that Q&A, because obviously we can talk about those then. So it's Palantir, it's topical, it's Sean's from yesterday. It's going to be a fantastic one. And again, we do it every single day. NNDM We're going to go to Brendan in a quick second. NNMDM consolidating through the top here. As long and you look at this little failed break at 10.15, it now held 10.15. If it does not break high of day, watch out for 10.15 breaking. If that sustains through 10 even at VWAP, it's like a 10 short with a 10.15 stop kind of idea. Brendo, what's up, bud?
All right, so we talked about Super League Gaming. We talked about Game Square coming up at 11:15. Here's International Game Technology. It seems a bit of a theme today. Up 6.3% today on decent volume. It's worth mentioning as well. Coming into recent highs here, 1940 right above us, being tested as we speak for IGT, guys.
International.
We got our water bottle here, so we're ready to rock and roll. And yes! Oh, hell yeah. I should take some more breaks of Valeria because look at Palantir right here. 50 cents in the money. Excuse me. 50 cents in the money and still ripping up, man. A good trade here. Wow. Good thing we held Palantir. What a bid. Yes, sir. Starting to rip up now. Stupid not to take this off, so we're just not going to celebrate here a little bit. We'll get some out 31s there I just put an order out for. Let's see if we get filled. Come on, 30, 30, 30, 30, 30, 30, 31. Yes, there it is. There's the fill, 31. And again, so like there it goes. So upside, right? And again, we're showing you actually live trades, guys. So there it is, out 31 for a 55-cent win right there. We'll continue to hold as Palantir making moonshots right now, hopefully. So let's wait on that. AMD back to 93s. We've been picking up some bottoms there. It does go to 80. Barcoding right now is AMD, but hey, man, it's been a big one today for us. So we'll spin the money around. Only misstep is one trade there. So yeah, I can do Roblox, Robbie. I can do Roblox. I'll do the Roblox trade. Up to 79.93. So we'll do a trade review after the show. I'll review my Roblox if that's easier, guys. Okay, let's get out right now. 79.94 to the upside right here. Going on AMD. What's up, B?
I'm just going to post that up on the screen, but I'll show you instead. Coupang, guys, now 53 to 56. So already getting a little bit tighter on the spread for Coupang, but we'll keep you updated.
All right. Coupang, yeah, okay, good. The Korean e-commerce giant coming through. Okay, so now here goes AMD again. I mean, this could probably be trade of the day as well, but this is just more of a trade review. Waiting to see what we do now. I think we're fine. Let's just hold the rest of this, man. We're trying to pick bottoms here, and now let's see if maybe the NASDAQ on this move upside here will give us some kind of a trade breaking through this VWAP. So we're long right now, 18 cents in the money on AMD, 50 cents in the money on Palantir, and yeah, the rest is history. So let's just keep going on some of these names and see if we can't make a little bit of money here. That's for sure. With Palantir, nice out at 30. Really glad we did that. We're pretty light now off this trade. Most of them out right here, above VWAP and above 26. So yeah, we like that little run up. We always hold that 10 to 20%. This time it was 20. So we have one more barrel left here to get out. Let's see how high it wants to go. And then we'll probably take that 26.50 break as well, guys.
Yeah, and sometimes you have a winning trade that you have to dodge the grenade, and there's grenades everywhere in the markets. But here, NIO finally breaking through VWAP. So here's that little march. Now it's worth noting we talk about these little clusters here. If you look at the pre-market, look at this level here, 43, like 65 to 70. On the way back in, there was a bit of a cluster before it got there. So if we roll over at that price, I have no problem taking it off here. I've been longing multiple times in this 42.98 to 43.02 range. So if we're going to take like 60, 70 pennies off that scalp trade, going to be very, very happy with it. With the market not breaking out yet, I will take profit. There's always breakout trades to be had potentially through this like 44.15 or 44 even area on NIO. So it's active. We can get back into it if we need to. But for now, we need to get to Brendan for Sector Watch.
Hey guys, you have that time. Let's have a look at S&P 500, see what is leading the ship today so far. 1.01% for the overall market. All about the tech sector in general. I want to start over here though and point out Etsy, 6.8%, 2 days in a row. Nice move for Etsy. LB, MGM, CCL, all the travel names are here, cruise lines, hotels, all in positive territory. So after a bit of a dip for this group yesterday, we're back to the upside as well. But consumer discretionary stocks having quite the day. Etsy, big mover. Energy stocks in the corner here. Oil hires we saw in the pre-market, full percent to the upside. So energy stocks really nice. Oracle, the only one, 7.3% to the downside off of that report. Everything else in this entire sector nicely higher, including hardware makers, software makers, and semiconductors. Just Oracle up there, the only one. Yeah, there's GE, boo GE, 7.5% to the downside. Industrials, though, as a group, are definitely in positive territory. Here's the airlines. FedEx leading the way today, 3.2% to the upside. AAL, UAL, Dow, UPS as well, 1% in positive territory. So industrials and tech shares making up most of the gains so far today. I wanted to mention the, where is it? Banking sector, right in the corner, offsetting, as I said. So tech stocks leading, banks coming off a bit. This group has been very strong over the past couple of days, but not today. 1%, guys, for the overall market. Back over to you.
So I just got for the first time into that ENTX here. Now, it finally made a bit of a parabolic wick up to like 760, then broke through that 760 to the top, couldn't get to 8 even. So when it comes back down below, I short off that 760. I got 39 as my average price. Look, this is a trade that I don't give to the high of the day. I just feel like it's a little bit too much risk, but I like to give it to that previous breakout price at 760. You're risking 20 to 25 pennies. If it absolutely flushes through 7 even here, I can get some out, of course. Literally, as I say it, I literally crossed out aggressively to get some shares out there at 701 and then got the execution at 689. So quick 50-cent win, but that's only a quarter of the position. I was trying to say to you guys, it was like 2 to 1 if you give it the tighter stop. You give it all the way, you really needed to bust through that 7, continue all the way down here, which if you're going against the trend, which I am in this particular case, I just find like sometimes if you're always trying to hit only the home run without the risk management, it's a little bit more difficult to have a more consistent style, which is what I try to lead to for these shorts. So I'm willing to give a little bit up. I don't need to have the best price, the perfect price, or give it all the way to the high of the day. In this case, I'm not going to. In this case, it seems to be working out. But I like to talk through the downside, because when it's going in the money, all you got to do is throw bids out and make it. If it goes down to this cluster area at 6 to 625, I definitely will take the majority of this position off. Maybe hang on to like 10% or so to see if it can't go to VWAP. But I think it's actually doubtful, as strong as it's been.
All right, I want to look back at GE here. Okay, so a nice little win there on AMD. I made a mistake. It went to VWAP, and I should have got some out. So, again, this is what happens. So we'll wait here at 810 right now, 8010, sorry, to get a little bit out there as it just made that move right back there. So yeah, that was a good opportunity. I hope you guys held square, man. I'm really glad we gave this to you. I gave this to you at 33, and then again there at 32. We lose on our last 10% as it did break below 32. We've talked about that. That's going to happen. I have a bunch of these today, man, including this GE trade. Like, look at that. That's ridiculous. Long at 86 there, pretty much like not a max share position, but good enough one. Oh, shoot. Now it's breaking back to the high side there. Okay, we can maybe take a GE breakthrough VWAP. I think that might be something there. I want to look at Oracle in case the NASDAQ goes, because that was a name that we missed. It was on our watch list. I haven't, not that we've missed it, but I haven't looked at it yet. I like a 67 break. I mean, obviously the 65.50 was a great little bottom there. A 67 break gives us at least back to like right here, pretty good, 66.50. So we do have a little bit of a downside protection there with the VWAP. So I think it's worth it to get back to 68. So we'll watch that move. And okay, come on, AMD. It just breaks back down below. Watch the NASDAQ here, guys. We already took out that smooth 50 or 80 cents, whatever this was. I think it was 80 cents there on Palantir. So at 35 and then again at 31. Now we're holding pretty light on Palantir, 5% left of this position. So now we're upside, some consolidation there. Like I said, we'll watch it. If it goes up to 26.50, that's going to be our next breaking spot there. But the market coming down, well, no, maybe not. The market's staying upside. So we'll wait to see on that one. And then, yeah, I might just get another piece of AMD out right now and forget about that 80-10 and just see if it goes.
Yeah, and sort of speaking, the market getting to that, again, range bound, so at 13,000 on the NASDAQ. Look, this is me sitting at 43.70 on NIO, like I said I was kind of going to, and then 66 ends up being the top. So sometimes you got to be a little bit more aggressive, and if I had been noticing the turn and not paying attention to ENTX and making a trade, again, it's a winning trade, but it did cost me the out here at 50s to take that like 50-cent winner. I'm not going to get, look, at the end of the day, I'm probably going to be getting back in at this thing at 43, even with the same stop at the absolute bottom. So it's a bit of a missed opportunity, but I'm not going to chase it all the way down. If it consolidates here and we're going to go range bound, I'll just get out on that consolidation. Now, if the market was at the bottom end of the range, I'd cover now. But we're at the top end, so we could potentially break out. And if we do, I think rising tides take all ships to that upside, potentially. not to the upside, and I'm your Huckleberry, OGI. Finally, that break at like 65. I mean, the break at 395 was like, well, there's just nothing you could do. Like, it was basically like crapping all over itself all the way down to 365. And then it takes forever for this actually to hold and then get down to this 350 area, where I said was likely my target, the next one to the downside here. So a smaller scalp trade on OGI. We're frying this one up with no trouble whatsoever. And ENTX, yeah, remember I said it was a little bit strong-ish? So looks like it made a top off that 8. We get the short, and it's like immediately consolidating here. So I'm not even sure I'm going to get this 6 even. If it breaks up from here, I'll probably give it to like my break-even price is 35. That actually happens to be this wick. So I'll give it to break-even. Like I said, I was never giving it to high of the day. It was at 760 my stop before. Once I get this target here, I will tighten things up like I usually do when it comes to this type of play. So either it breaks down to 6 and I get over $1 winner, or it's break-even on the final third. ENTX still showing some signs of strength, despite me being in the money 50 pennies here.
Oh man, we talked. Well, damn it, we talked about Roblox resisting that 70 from yesterday, guys. And like, look at this, right back into the teeth of that move. You could have got a hell of a lot longer there at 70, and we just missed that trade. Like, that was an easy one. As soon as I got out of there on this trade, I should have gone over and looked to see what that next move was there for Roblox, and missed that opportunity. Downside, building that 70 was such a great base. Now we'll come back down. I don't know. I mean, does it have enough juice? Probably it does, man, to get above this 74. So I think that Roblox has a chance there. 74. I'd like to take it maybe a little bit higher, maybe right here, 74.25. Yeah, let's take a 74.25 break on Roblox, and then I don't know, man. It might be a little slippery if we do that. Back down to 72, you know, at least back down to here, maybe 72.50. So yeah, we can risk about $1. Okay, so let's do that. If Roblox does go, guys, I want to take a break here of VWAP, but a little bit higher, 74.25. Let's do that. Okay, AMD back to the upside again, touching that VWAP spot. We did take some out where we said at 02. We're long 81, so it's 20 pennies. There it goes. So it's 20 pennies. Now it's 30 pennies. So we're 30 pennies in the money on a NASDAQ move upside here. And then we're 55 pennies in the money on Palantir, as that's going to the high side as well. What a big day this has turned out to be. I didn't think it would after that GE mistake. Mistake going long, not mistake by me, but just mistake going long. And now we'll wait to see here as it's going to, Palantir is going to try to take that out. And then yesterday, if I can, remind you guys, you know, this is that level that we're at right now, 26.25. So this is about as high as we got yesterday before failing out. So watch out for Palantir here. Even on a daily chart, we can check out Palantir. I mean, it's getting close. A nice little move off these bottoms. You know, we've been building this. We've been talking about these bottoms downside. So I hope you guys are able to take some of that. As now, AMD, guys, finally going upside right now. So AMD breaks, let's go over. AMD breaks that VWAP now, and now we're cruising for a bruising to the upside. A big trade on AMD, so that money is spinning over here on this side. Thank God for AMD, a nice little 70-cent win here.
And so I was actually saying this in the chat there because Kung Fu Trading believes in the short. Look, if I'm in the trade, I'm going to tell you why I believe in it and how I got into it. We gave you the entire thought process exactly as it was going into that failed breakout on ETX. I told you why I didn't want to short it back here when Brendan brought you the name. I told you why I was shorting it at the time that I did. But once I'm in the money in this particular situation, I want to think about if it goes wrong, how, where, why, and what am I going to do? I'm not going to sit around there being like, okay, well, how am I going to take profit? I already have a profit-taking area that I like. So it's more about what could happen next and what could be bad. We're going to go to Money Talks, and GameStop's going to try and break through the high of the day right here.
What's up, Brendan? Money Talks, baby.
It is currency time, guys. Let's have a look at Bitcoin to start. I want to point out this huge move. Went into an hourly chart. So this is an hourly chart. So we came off of the highs that we mentioned yesterday all the way down to 54,400. Now, all the way back up. So 57,200 tested again this morning. Back to recent highs anyways for Bitcoin. We are negative on the day here, 1.2%, but 56,200 as I said. Right now, Ethereum red as well, 1.3%. You can see Ripple 3% to the downside. Everything else pretty strong versus the US dollar today. The ECB making moves this morning as we sat down here early on in North America. So the euro very strong, 0.3%, 1.19. The Canadian dollar back to the upside, 79.5, about 0.4%. See the British pound also higher, Japanese yen. Swiss franc coming off a little bit today, about 0.5%, where Japanese yen is higher. So these two typically trade one in the same. Australia and New Zealand both higher, even the Turkish lira. Everything to the upside today. US dollar coming off a bit again today, as I mentioned. Guys, back over to you.
Thank you, Brendan. So sitting in that ATX, you can see the positions below. That's 50 pennies in the money. NEO's 50 pennies in the money. NVFY is like 40 cents in the money. OGI, remember I got that re-entry. That's only a few cents in. But I got to go to Roblox here because, I had an idea of where I like this long. And it's very, very similar to that NIO where I started a little bit too early off that level. I make the bottom wick here. You see the run to the upside, right? So I'll tell you what I'll be doing at the end of the show. And this should be working now. Look at that. What was it? We did a Palantir trade before, but now you got the Roblox one. So this trade was just a couple of hours ago. What more do you want out of this, guys? I'm going to be watching too because I like that long off that pre-market level. Sorry, yesterday's level and the pre-market levels. It's only 1 day's worth of trade. It was my best stock yesterday. It's my worst stock today. I'm going to get to learn something about that Roblox. Sometimes you got to have those diamond hands and hang on. So Sean will show you what he was looking at in that trade. It's right after the show ends, guys. So we'll jump right into it, and he'll give that explanation. He won't even take a break. He doesn't even get to go to the bathroom after the show is done. He's going to go right into that for you guys. Live. That is the absolute key. The other thing that is key is to trade stocks that are moving. Now, I jumped over to ENTX because that one made sense to me. Slug was a great, an obvious, well, not obvious, but a fantastic breakout trade, if only because it gave you the break at 7:30. It gives you a break, it gave you the break on the news, but then it gives you a secondary push through 30s and holds that dip and gives you that dollar winner. Whenever something like this comes all the way back to the breakout price, you got to think about defending it. So I'm looking at this like 620 to 630. We're screaming into that level. If there is a buyer down there, I'll definitely going to be looking to see if I can't take Slug. It's interesting that this name could make that kind of a retracement all the way back in. A lot of times you don't get that kind of price action. And speaking of that Zila, throw this one away. I know I said I would go look back at it. I'm done with the stock. It was a bane of my existence for 2 days in a row. Every time I had the direction right, I'd basically lose like 10 or 15 cents with a tight stop. So throwing this one out the window, it is dead and not even moving.
Okay, yeah, we're watching GameStop. We're in this one again here. We did take that 85, and then it didn't work. Sorry, that 80 break, it didn't work. We got out right here at 75, and then we're taking another little long here just to see if it does hold this 75. If it doesn't, we'll get out. It doesn't look like it's going to. It's going to break right now probably. But 275, there it goes. Yeah, right down to 273 there. So a breakdown on GameStop, and here it goes lower, lower, lower. Let's see how low this name wants to go now. GameStop to the downside right here, guys.
Yes, sir. And look, overall, the market just broke up, and this is frustrating for me because I actually thought that when we held above that 13,000 for the first time, that would get the juices flowing. The ES is making fresh highs, so you have both markets breaking out. And of course, this is the EV name, NIO, and maybe it's a coincidence, maybe it's not, that you see GameStop pulling back, NEO showing a little bit of weakness, but I'm going to go over to General Electric because if we're actually going to break out and General Electric's going to be here at that bottom, I like picking it up. It's starting to nibble in front of that 12. In the long term, makes a lot of sense to me, but 12.35 stands out as a breakout in GE, so you can maybe paint me. Call me a sucker as well, Sean, but I'm going to take this one if it breaks 35. Brendo?
A little bit thin on this one, guys, but this Regal Beloit Corporation, not Royal Bank of Canada as we know it in Toronto, but RBC traded on the NASDAQ, just popping up here. Huge volume came in. Took this thing from 147 up to 152. They make electric motors, so just double checking on headlines here for RBC, guys.
Yeah, they do. Okay, so right now, guys, we just a new position alert. We did have Peloton there. We got some out at 16. We had this a minute ago. We were just busy doing other things. Peloton right there breaking through 117. We took that. Now it's we just got at 120 or 117, I guess it was there, on a NASDAQ break to the high side. So let's just wait to see what this does here now. Peloton giving it all the way back, probably down to here, 116 and change on PTON. Give this one some room to breathe a little bit. Our GameStop, it's going to come out if it breaks down through 270. Looks like that's happening now. So that'll be a bad trade. We did take that break, and then we're trying to hold. We averaged in there, and now it looks like it's going to come back to the downside again, and then probably break a little bit lower. I guess money kind of, I don't know. If it goes, it goes. I just thought that 280 break may have been something. It did take out 281. We were slightly in the money there on that break, but not enough. I just thought that might have got it going. It did not. Just like right here, you break the high of the day there, comes back the second time around it breaks. So we'll see. I'll probably go longer again on a 280 break, but needs to happen first for us to do anything. Peloton, a good out there, but not enough shares out. So now as the NASDAQ fades in, so does Peloton back to the downside. So watch out for that trade. And then we did take a Palantir, I'm going to be bumbling this. We did take a 50 break and most of it out here in the 60s. Now let's see if we can hold on to another run. I mean, if the NASDAQ gets going here, then Palantir should retrace back into these 60 levels. So I'm liking that trade for sure. But Peloton definitely, guys, or Palantir, sorry, needs to go with this NASDAQ. A little bit of size there protecting it.
You said the word bumble, and I actually just remembered that stock. But I got to go back to this NVFY because I'm not out of it. I'm not flat on it just yet, but bubble bursting on these particular names. Now, anytime, if you get these little moves, that'll happen. And the stock is essentially doing nothing, not even trading, and then you get the bounce in the aftermarket. This stock more than doubled in the aftermarket. You're talking about like an over 150%, sorry, 250% return at one point. And then it holds in the pre-market that top. That 530 area. So this, I'll come back to that 530 in a second. It gets another pop to the upside. This is now 4x when it goes 1, 2, 3, 4 times testing these highs. When it finally broke, I missed it through like 720 here, but it came back and tested that price at the open. And if it doesn't take out that 750, this little cluster zone where it really fell down, when volume comes in at the open, if that fails, you know it's a good short. It takes them out in takes them out in front of this little chop zone on the way up. I take more out this chop zone, and that's going to be like a dollar like 50 into the win side. And then when it finally breaks that level, this is the aftermarket high, this is the pre-market bottom, I go short again, it holds this. Now we're down at 480, guys. So again, some trades I can sort of sit in them all day long. It's the same thing as like buying dips and you hang on to it forever, like Sean will do in a Palantir. You're just taking that profit. It doesn't really scare you too much. The same thing with a short like this in the NVFY, but that last little pullback here in the aftermarket to 425. If it does come down there, probably my last target, I'll get a dollar for a second time on this trade, but I can't ignore the fact that it's basing out here, right around this $5 mark. I don't want to turn a winning trade into a loser. It's definitely slowing down in this move to the downside, and I got to make sure that I don't throw away that profit. And speaking of that, market's still climbing, NEO still consolidating. Now, there's 0 point to me having an offer here, and I'm going to go ahead and cancel and tell you why. Why would I be offering right above this potential break at 43.65? I'm either getting it out here at the top end of this range and then averaging in, working into this particular range here, or I'm allowing it to break and getting out at 44. I'm going to go with the latter because the market is screaming. So if I can finally get that last dollar here, well, it'll be more like 90 cents because I'm going to take it off in the 90s if I can. Then I'll just go ahead and extend that an extra 20 or 30 cents here. NIO trying to break out along with this market. It was a good long off the bottom. It took me a while to calm down and then sort of work this trade a little bit better. If I can get 44s again, I'll be very happy with that return.
So we actually held our AMC, and we just got it out there at 55 at this high right there. So yeah, AMC just made a bottom, and we just didn't do anything about it. We talked about that at 10. It didn't get, I mean, it got low enough there. I wasn't looking at it here. We sort of had some orders down on the 10 side there just to see if that was going to be something, but apparently it's nothing. So we'll wait on that one. AMD, a nice, we're flat out on that one. So we will slay that AMD dragon there as it goes back to the highs of the day. So a nice little trade on AMD. I can't win today. Like, I take Peloton. NASDAQ breaks out here. I'm thinking like, okay, maybe Peloton is the winner for us, but it's not. As we come crashing back down through 115 there, we're still holding it. We got VWAP downside, a breakdown through 115.80. We'll get out of this one, but Peloton not reacting properly here on a NASDAQ break. We thought we would have had something there, and we don't. And then here it comes too as well. GameStop to the downside now as well, as that's moving against us. So we'll wait to see on a 270 break for GameStop. So right now, like, this is the one that's really confusing me the most. Maybe we'll average into some Peloton now, but I mean, if it's not going up with the NASDAQ doing this, then I do not know. Wow, DraftKings right now as well. What a big mover that's been today. Right back to basically, I think this is close to all-time highs here on DraftKings. Really glad that we talked about buying that the other day. Yeah, 74, wow. Again, what a dip buy that was. That was my number one recommendation back there. I did buy BFT though at 12. Let's check in what BFT is. I think it was 12.54 or something. Yeah, so that's up to 15. So that's a good retracement back. Of course, BFT, yeah, that was right back here. Yeah, 12. 1254 is the bottom. I got it at 1270. So 1254 is the bottom, 1277, I believe. I grabbed that. So a nice little retracement back. And of course, BFT is going to be pay safe, guys. Yeah, and there it goes. Peloton breaking downside. So I guess that's not the winner we had hoped for. And what's Square at 240? Yeah, Square still bumping higher, guys. What a great long that was. Wow, still going Square. What's up, B?
All right, a couple things, guys. First off, Regal Beloit, that RBC, didn't see any news on it, but huge volume, taking that thing to all-time highs. Very thin, but be careful on that one. Also, Coupang now to 56.59 on the expected opening there for CPNG. Also, Sean, you'll be interested to know, Englishman Matt Fitzpatrick, early leader at the Players, getting started today.
Ooh,
Who'd you bet on?
I even got the wife in on that. So, yeah, we're very, very excited with that one. The Players, I need Patrick Cantlay. So Patrick Cantlay wins, and I will be, once again, in the money with gambling as well.
I'm not even sure why I remember that name. I mean, I think I was considering, I literally know nothing about golf. I had a friend tell me who to pick, and I barely lost. Thanks a lot, Greg. I lost by like a smidgen on our last pool. I'm going to go with the mic drop here because I don't usually hit it, but ENTX, I'm done. I talked about this cluster zone here at 625. Well, it's 626 to 625 here on the way up. We get the rollover. Forget about getting the perfect price. It's kind of hard to do unless you're standing in front of the freight train. Maybe it goes to VWAP, but this stock has been very, very strong. We'll just walk away from it here. You get like a 735 to 740. Anywhere in this range, if you're really, really good, you get 750s. I got 36s short. The last out's going to be here for $1. Maybe it goes further than that. I really don't know, but I'll walk away from it and be very, very pleased. NIO, it does make that break at 65. So if I kept my order in, I would have been out for that 70-cent win. But I am now targeting in front of 44 even. So I'm going to hang on to it just a little bit longer, guys. And I mean, we've talked a lot about gaming today. I mean, DraftKings on the move, and been a few of these names like Slug's been moving around a little bit. But we have a guest, CEO Justin Kenna from GameSquare. So coming through, you've seen what Brendan does on a daily basis. I mean, he does fantastic interviews. I'll sit back, relax. It's like a learning day for me because I get to listen to this fantastic interview. Then after the show, we get to learn a little bit about Sean's thought process in Roblox. So I really don't know what more you can ask for. I know what I can ask for. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, because I want to see that little dance on the screen and make Miss V happy. She looks so I didn't know. She looked way too serious like 2 seconds ago. I want to smile on your face, Miss V. Get us to that 6,000-7,000 mark. Get that blue hair, whatever you want, guys. We got Palantir wins. We got Neo wins. And let's get over to, I want to keep coming back to this because GameStop through that 280 was a bit of an ugly sort of breakout trade. And if there is a harsh reversal, now it's still holding up at like 270, but if it breaks down that 257 where I have a stop and I want to go short through that price, I'm also going to be looking at cost. If I miss the short on GameStop through 257, cost could be taking out its low, and the stock moves more at times than GameStop on those relative moves. So if you miss, you can always jump to the other one. I constantly come back to that idea because it worked for me yesterday on one of those longs. So I want to make sure I catch that chance today because I've missed a few of those breaks on GameStop with my order not being aggressive enough on the breakout.
Okay, we actually have a new position here. Oracle, we just took that through 67. But again, you know, like usual there, not really wanting to go through this. So we got to wait, again, give it back about 50 cents. I mean, it's not going to be a big hit no matter what happens here. But Oracle now looking like it wants to just continue to go down. So we have Oracle, but it's not doing anything. So we're going to give this back to about the 66.60 level or so, like, yeah, right about here. Or, I mean, even VWAP is fine, but 55, 60, what is that number? 66, 61 on a 1 minute chart there. So, yeah, maybe back to here, this little level here. We'll see if it wants to continue to go to the upside. But Oracle right now, new position alert. So we're waiting on that. We're still waiting on Coupang coming out. Hopefully CPNG. If you guys are looking for that trade, we'll have it for you as long as it hits within. Oh man, it's 11:05 already. Maybe Coupang. Yeah, maybe it doesn't hit today, or for you on the show. Like Roblox missed yesterday as well. Let's check back in on Roblox. I know that's going to be the trade review after this, but we are coming right back down into this 70 level again here on RBLX. So we could, start to take a little bit of a long. I think that makes sense here around 71 on Roblox. Let's take a long now and see what happens on the upside for Roblox, and then just use this 70 break as our out right now.
And like we said, we have a fantastic interview coming through. I want to come back to, and Sean mentioned Bumble. We mentioned Bumble in the pre-market. Had earnings and then sort of ignored it, but holding up rather nicely. So holding on to gains is sort of the better way to look at it. I mean, it was 63 that it was at yesterday, but holding on to this pre-market level, sort of just below that 70 range, where you had a bit of a break at the open, and then flush down. A great pickup if you got 67s, but we're right back to that range in front of 70 even. So that's an important thing, because if you hold that 70, market gets some momentum to the upside. Of course, remember, it's not that IPOs all sort of follow each other, but if there's a positive move on like that CPNG when it opens up, you might actually see a Bumble push to those highs. Now, right now, I'm looking at a 72.50 break. This wick up here got to 73.50. I care much more about this double top at 72.40. So I'd look for a 72.50 break as long as we've held that 70 mark. If we retest the lows, I throw the breakouts out the window for the afternoon and try to reassess, because that's what I'm going to try to plan for. And then General Electric, I mean, it's really not doing much down here, which is kind of a good sign, because it's maybe gearing up to get that break, and I like 35, and I'm going to take it if it goes. But man, this stock is doing literally nothing, holding on the bottom while the market tries to bounce, and GE can't seem to go with it. I tend to believe at some point, if we're still screaming, and there's a chance to pick up a GE here below this $13 mark, that there will be some shares coming into this in the afternoon. I just wouldn't want the market to reverse on me. If we start to pull back down, back below that 13, the ES pulling back in, and I'm looking at that like 39, 35 area, and we're about to take the low, forget about GE. But as long as we're heading upside, I like that 35 break, Brendo.
Energy name. We'll go back to earnings land, guys. This is Alto, which is a renewable fuels company. They reported aftermarket yesterday. Big move down here, but just made a new high on the day, 640, which was that kind of resistance point from aftermarket. Recent addition for ALTO, trying to get back to the upside.
Okay, a big win here for sure for us on Roblox. And by big win, I just mean a matter of how many shares you take. Out at 72, out at 71.80 there. And now we'll take another out if it comes back near 72, like right now. If we can get that, that'd be great. Oracle, finally, guys, making some moves to the upside. So I think we can take out a little bit here at 2022 or so. Of course, I offer, and then it only wants to hit the bid. So hopefully, there we go, hit the 22s. There we go. A nice little win there. So that lined up. A couple hot dog trades right here on that one. And then, yeah, we rebought in now into Peloton right here, breaking through 116 again. But then it tested 115.50. So just to give you guys an idea, where did I put my out for Peloton? Yeah, breaking through, basically breaking through here. So if it does go back almost down through the low, 115.30, like in this area, I want to get out because I don't want to test down here. So too many shares right now on Peloton. We got out a little bit of profit, then we got a horrible out there again as it comes crashing through VWAP. So right now we're waiting for that one. But yeah, everything right now moving, just not moving great for us. Oracle to the upside. Palantir, still 24 cents. Look at Palantir, man. A nice move to the upside. Like, this has just been a monster trade for me today. So it's hot dogs around for everybody for Palantir as it's just going. Unfortunately, we just got out on Peloton. We just got to stay with the other P today and forever, Palantir, because Peloton just came out to the downside there on a horrible, horrible break through 150. So right down to 150.30. So we miss out on that one as now, of course, it comes back up. Oh man, the story of my life today, always taking the bottoms and the tops on everything today. Hey, that's gonna happen. Happens to the best of us, guys.
Exactly, and that's the reality. I mean, like, I got burned on Roblox today. Thankfully, Neo's going to come out for me here. So I don't know about some of these. We'll talk about like laying in the cut like a ninja here at that 43 level, and I just wish I had done the same thing that we were able to pull off much better in the second move, and I did more of that on the way down. Patience, patience, patience when you're doing dip buying. Sometimes you get a little bit excited in that 9:30 time. That's exactly what happened to me. So as much as Neil's my best stock today, it could have been a heck of a lot better. I just got that 43.90. So once again, you saw it last time we got that dip. We got out at 44. It failed breakthrough 44. When it came back in, I was able to get that even price. This time, I'm not even waiting for it to go to that 44 range, just taking it out at 90. That leaves me with that NVFY short, which, like I said, holding that little bottom around that $5. I got out at 480 the last time. This time it only gave me a 45-cent win, not as good as the short we had off the open. I don't want this to turn into a loser. If it breaks back above that 5/4, I will get out at break even. And then Organogram, which was great off the open. I got that break at 365 for the second trade in Organogram. Was able to get a bunch out in front of 50s, but I still do hold on to a third of the position left. And if it breaks 75, what did I say? I'm out if it breaks 75. Look at it hold that 75 mark, which is kind of crazy that I didn't reload. I'll go ahead and offer 72, 73, 74. And then maintain that stop at 75.
All right, guys, like the new Cardi B song, Up. This is what Palantir's up today, man. 8.4%. Just keeps on ripping new highs off right now. Where do we go tomorrow? Nobody knows, but Palantir, I mean, I might just cancel. I was going to get out of some of my options today again, but this is just making moves to the upside there for Palantir as it's just rip, rip, rip. Now upside, upside, upside. So a good one there. I'm going to try to cancel some of my options trades. I mean, look at these buys down here, 25.70, like 25.60. These are dollars now in the money. So we're cashing out and cashing out pretty large now. Our Oracle trade also looking pretty good right now. So that's coming into the money for us. And we just took out some 20 cents. It's not 25 cents. It's just bouncing off that quarter area again. So I think it's pretty prudent to take some of that off. And we did. We only have half left right now for Oracle on that move. So far, so good, man. I'm really happy with the way that's traded out today. So far, that's Oracle trying to make more moves now. I'm going to cancel. There we go. I'm just going to cancel my options trade here for. There it is for Palantir because I think this goes higher now. Now that we're up to these levels, like who knows, man? We just dipped down 26.85, but I think there's more to come on this name. So let's wait to see Palantir now busting out big trades. I mean, this looks silly, so many outs, but honestly, like, you know, when you're buying down here and you get these moves, we didn't know the NASDAQ's going to be up 2.25%. The S&P near all-time highs, 39.59.25. So if we call in here, let's just change this one to the ES. So if we see what the ES is at right now, you're going to see 39. What was it, Brendan? 39.59. So all-time highs right now on the ES, and we are at 39.48. So almost back to all-time highs. NASDAQ needs to catch up. But look at the S&P today, just marching north side. Great trades if you're long anything in this market, guys.
Especially if you're long Tesla at the bottom here at 75. Tesla, speaking of that name, look at it off the open. It was testing 700 all pre-market before reversal here, and it's trying to get all the way back up. Now, if we're going to break through that high, and you can get Tesla through 700 while we're breaking through the high and maybe maintaining. Gonna have to look at that break. Tesla has some room to run here. We talked about some of these levels here. When it made this little pullback into like 725, we mentioned this off the bottom, that if it got to 25, it could be resistance. That was a top yesterday at 720. So 700 gives you some room to that 720 to 725 range on Tesla for sure. It doesn't feel like we're going to get that open on CPNG, but I mean, I've got an order ready to go. It could actually pop in. You never really know when these things are going to happen, but I feel like it's pretty unlikely we're going to get live on the show. That's okay. We'll let you know how it goes, and any positions that we do take, we'll tweet them out there like we were looking at that Roblox yesterday. Slug actually does not break back above this. And again, you look at these spike levels, the pre-market level here at 730, gets right to it and turns around. So if I was scalping this, I wish I was looking at this and not that OGI to get more shares in, which I just did, got out, then certainly I would have probably been shorting off of that 730 level. And then if it breaks 730, you get a nice little breakout trade because there isn't a heck of a lot above until you get to that 830 range. And this is a big time mover. It's a $7 stock, guys. But this is what level 2 looks like. It doesn't have a 1 cent spread. It's got like a 3, 4, 5 cent spread at times. And it's already put in like a $2 range, which is like a 25% range on the session. And it closed at 550, which again is a 25% to the upside. So very, very volatile name, which does give you some fantastic opportunities to watch for that 730. Been waiting all morning long for it. Wait no longer. Let's go to Brendan for our guest of the day.
All right, guys, thank you. Yeah, before the pandemic, we were seeing entire arenas filled for esports events and gaming events. Obviously, with the pandemic, that is not happening, but this sector has just continued to grow with exponential pace over the past few years. GameSquare Esports is a Canadian-based esports company, and CEO Justin Kenna is joining us today to discuss the company and some of the latest and exciting moves that they have been making. Great to see you, Justin. Appreciate your time. Thanks for doing this today. Let's start off with a little bit of a look at the company itself. Tell us where GameSquare Esports came from and where the concept was derived from.
Awesome. Yeah. So GameSquare Esports is really concentrating within the sort of media, digital marketing space within gaming. My sort of background in gaming and esports have seen some really exponential growth, in the industry over the past 3 years. But I think one of the main sort of question marks that still remains around, the industry is really how you monetize and how you get to profitability. I think, we are seeing excuse me, we are seeing a lot of dollars being spent in the space, and a lot of really large investment valuations. However, there is still a big question mark around how you get to profitability. And so we are creating a business which we think sits firmly in the high margin area of this industry, and an area that we think that we can monetize really well.
All right, so let's talk about two different sides to this business. We'll discuss the agency side first. Tell us about Code Red, first of all.
Yeah, so Code Red is a UK influencer talent-based company. They are, connecting, influencers and, media sort of personalities within the space to, large-scale brands, to large-scale events, and really connecting, what our kind of ethos is as a company is connecting global brands to this end consumer, and that they have a really nice business to be able to do that.
And then on the talent side of things, I mean, for anyone maybe not familiar with this space or sector at this point, so when we talk about talent in this space, what are we referring to, and who are those people?
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, talent comes in all types of varieties within gaming. You obviously have your pro gamers. You have your content creators who might be sort of personalities on Twitch, but not necessarily a pro gamer. And then you have all sorts of media personalities who help broadcast events, journalists of different varieties, but mainly playing in the influencer gamer space, and being able to connect these influencers, these content creators, these gamers to large scale brands. And for the brands, obviously the benefit is being able to reach this really large end audience that is continuing to grow.
Justin Kenna, CEO of GameSquare Esports, with us. You mentioned some of the brands that are getting behind, these big numbers and big crowds that are behind this sector right now. Let us know, a few of these, bigger companies that are trying to back this.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Just referring to the brands that are showing up, at these events, talking about, supporting the esports industry in general. I mean, there's big names that are backing this. Yeah.
So, I mean, it's been an interesting sort of growth period. I was the CFO of FaZe Clan, and roughly 3 years ago, we looked at doing a sort of 3-year lockup deal with one of our big brand partners. Really meaningful revenue at that time to the business. However, we sort of backed ourselves in and backed the growth of the industry. And I mean, that brand deal has been renewed year on year. I think this year was about 16 times what it was 3 years ago. And so that's one sort of example of the growth of sort of brand value, not just volume coming into the space. But in terms of, some of the names, I mean, our pipeline, includes our clients, and pipeline include, Bud Light, Geico, Chipotle, Cox Communication, Fox Sports, really, really top tier brands. And I mean, I think, if you look at the pandemic, the growth of gaming and esports was really exponential pre-pandemic. But I think through the pandemic, it really highlighted even more so, majors, CMOs of major brands that had previously maybe played more in the traditional sort of sport and traditional media categories, coming to esports and gaming and seeing the return, that they're getting. And these are large brands, like Verizon, Burger King, Nissan, who are now making a really huge splash in this space, and they will continue to.
On that note, Justin, maybe we can, take a second to talk about the importance of, the live aspect to these events in the esports industry. We're seeing some other leagues, some other professional sports leagues coming back to, getting into having that live event feel and live fans at their events once again. Is there plans yet for that in esports?
Yeah, there are. I think, it's an interesting one. I think when the pandemic first hit, I think a lot of people look at gaming and esports and look at the sort of industry as being one of the winners of the pandemic, and I think that's definitely the case in terms of eyeballs and engagement. However, from the pro team part of esports was actually hit by the pandemic from the exact reason that you're saying, and that is not actually being able to travel and not being able to put on live events and live tournaments. 2 years ago, last year the Fortnite World Cup was cancelled. The year before, the Fortnite World Cup was held at Flushing Meadows, where the US Open tennis tournament is held, and was just an incredible event. I went for 2 of the days, sold out, full stadium crowds, really large scale prize money that rivals any golf or tennis tournament in the world, and really incredible stuff. So, we will see the return of large, large scale events really soon. I think the one, really interesting part of this is that a lot of orgs pivoted really well through the pandemic into being able to host, virtual events, virtual tournaments. The premise of gaming is online, and being able to really get eyeballs and monetize that virtually, I think, has been a big win for the industry, throughout this time. However, the return of live events and large scale events will, we're all looking forward to that for sure.
Justin Ken, the CEO of GameSquare Esports. This industry, as we've said, has seen exponential growth over the past 5 years. Talk about where we're going now. Where does GameSquare Esports see this industry in 3 to 5 years?
Yeah, for sure. So it's an interesting one, and I sort of spoke about it at the start of this, is that we're positioning ourselves in the media space of gaming. We see this as the new form of entertainment. For us, we're very much playing in the agency, digital marketing, media vertical of this industry. Again, that's really where the margins lie, and our whole ethos is connecting global brands to this end consumer. And for us, we think that it's only the beginning. I spoke to one of the brands at FaZe Clan in terms of the exponential growth in the dollars that they are starting to spend in this space. If you look at the eyeballs and the engagement, this end audience is so large and really is quite fragmented in the way that I think people predominantly think of gaming as being these younger kids, and it's really not the case. There's a really large proportion in the 20 to 30-year-old demographic, high disposable income, and we think that this is really early days, that brands are continuing to try to reach and connect this end audience, and we think that we're really well positioned to help them do so.
Company currently listed on the CSE here in Toronto and also in the US on the OTC markets. Does GameSquare Esports have plans for an uplisting in the future?
Yeah, absolutely. In the short term, our focus is really around scaling organically. We are about to bring in our agency sort of business in Los Angeles, and they have a huge pipeline of work that we're really excited about getting them capitalized and helping support organic growth, while looking at really complementary M&A to bring into our business. It fits our story. High revenue growth assets, EBITDA positive. We want to be the first business of real rev scale that is profitable. That's sort of the focus in the shorter term, is building that out. But an uplisting is absolutely a part of the plans, and I wouldn't say in the short to medium term, but in the medium to longer term, absolutely, and something that we've already started discussing.
Justin Ken, the CEO of GameSquare Esports. It's an exciting space, an exciting time to be in the space. Best of luck going forward.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
There you go, guys. A little look at GameSquare Esports. We've mentioned, 3, 4, 5 names now today in this space. That's another one. Keep it in the back of your mind, on the radar. GSQ, guys.
Yeah, 100%. It couldn't have been any more perfect in terms of being topical, of course, to bring them through. Look, only about 4 or 5 minutes to go. Just a quick reminder for everybody. We are going to have Sean reviewing that Palantir trade live. You get kicked right over into that stream from here. So don't do anything. Just sit back, relax, and learn a little bit. Watch out, because this market is screaming to the upside right now. We're breaking through the top, not quite at that all-time high in the ES, the NASDAQ sustaining gains. Tesla still trying to crack through this 700 mark, guys. And I can tell you that I've joined that party, at least to a certain degree, in General Electric, which I mean, it's trying to get out of its way. It's trying to break through. Actually has some orders to get out if it goes to like 1250. These are the little yellow lines you see here. Try to break that 35. I got 36s long. It's right back to 1230. So still doing a heck of a lot of nothing while this market is hella strong. Everything but GE and I believe Oracle.
Yeah, so the trade of the day is Roblox.
What did I say?
And yeah, it's okay. You said Palantir. We did Palantir.
Oh, I'm sorry, man. My bad.
We did Palantir yesterday. I mean, we're crushing Palantir today. We could do that. And look at that out on Roblox again, guys. 72.80. Like, we just sat here ahead of 73, picked a random level there, kind of just in this mix, picked the even cent there, pick 80s, we grabbed that. So another long off there, a big time win for me on Roblox, making back some of the money that we did lose on that GE trade. But yeah, right now that's that. And then the only other stock that, we really messed up was GameStop here today, going long through that break there, and then unfortunately doing what I said I do, like keeping the putting the money where my mouth is here, and then trying to hold that, but it just didn't give us any love, and I wasn't going to let it get all the way. Thank God it didn't let it get all the way down to there. That would have been a day ender probably if we had that, but. I'm nowhere near finished here. We just did take a nice little long there at 34, looking to see if it'll hold 20. Basically back to VWAP. So we're long Palantir now again, hoping that this can moon. If the NASDAQ gives back, we'll lose on this one, and that's fine. Our average price is right here, 42. So if NASDAQ gives back, then this will be a loser. But Palantir today up 7%, obviously a lot more aggressive than the market. So let's put it in and see if we can get it back today's high here and make a little bit of money back. So that's Palantir, and where we're looking right now on that name, it's Mr. Wickens.
Yeah, about that time, guys. Couple minutes left here. We'll have a look at some earnings coming up after market. I mean, we can't get away from these names today. Here we go again. Yeah, there's that Super League on the board. Microvision as well, guys.
Super League Gaming. It's moving just a little bit going into those earnings. I mean, you talked about that 25% up, and remember, this stock just an hour or so ago was trading at 830, so it was even higher than that. It's a volatile one. No earnings are going to cause it to make some big moves, and we'll definitely be all over it. Watch out for DocuSign, just because some of these higher flying tech names have seen some sharp pullbacks, even if they beat, and DocuSign could fall right into that category. If there's any kind of disappointment there, they could absolutely get crushed to the downside. So there's a lot to watch, a lot to get to. I really did think that there was an outside chance that maybe. I guess, I don't know, maybe I didn't actually think we'd get to that CPNG, but still a million buy-in balance here with only minutes to go. So that one might not open up for a while, but we can give you what national day it is right here, right now. Let's go to Ms. V.
Thank you, Neil. And hey guys, thank you very much for joining us today. I hope you had a good trading day. And please stay tuned. Right after the show, Sean will review his trade live. Well, we'll see you tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time, and happy National Oatmeal Nut Waffle Day, everyone.
I don't know. My kids love waffles, and so do I, but I never had an oatmeal nut waffle. But I love having... Valeria Arms, they don't have that in Russia, do they? Do you guys eat waffles?
Waffles?
Yeah, like with all that fruit and everything?
Not really.
No, not a very big fruit thing. Palantir upside right now. We're going long here again. The reason why we talk about that is that, the kids loving waffles, but not with the nuts. I don't know, worth a try for sure. We like that oatmeal nut. We're going to be back with Roblox very soon. We got a couple nice winners on right now. Oh, Tyrone Bigums, thank you so much here. Oh, did I lose you? He said Sean played. Here it is. Yeah, we talked about this yesterday, so I'll bring it up again today. Yesterday like a fiddle, Palantir. Today like a banjo. What's better? Let me see. I think I was up more money yesterday. So the fiddle better than the banjo, but today was beautiful. The only thing is yesterday we held on to a little more shares for a little longer than that. But yeah, a big trade here today. Hopefully this actually, you know what? We might wind up making more money on this today. It's position pending right now. We just got some out in the 50s there off a nice little 30 long. So what's our price right now? 41. So just took some out 9 cents. We'll wait to see. I have another order in the 60s. Let's see if Palantir wants to go. But here we go. The NASDAQ looking to make lows, guys.
Highs. We're taking out those highs right now, but do not tune away. Going to get right into that Roblox trade. Sean is, for that matter, as far as waffles goes. If it's real maple syrup, count me in. VWAP trader, why not? Don't look a gift horse in the mouth, my friend. Take those profits when you can. For the entire team, for Miss V, You should try waffles. They're fantastic. Real maple syrup only. My man Sean Katina in the salmon shirt. Love it. And Brennan Wickens, great interview as always. I'm Neil Roberts. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Trader TV Live. We'll see you right now for the trade review, but for the rest of you tomorrow. Bye, guys.